Hey, kids, we're a couple of annoyed grunt boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons Podcast.
I don't know any history. It's all one big conspiracy. I can't prove there are science books. Bunch of experts spouting gobbledygook. All I know is that I love you. And there's microchips in Charleston chews. The virus was caused by 5G.
That's right. We're the podcast that explores the American animated sitcom The Simpsons from seasons 11 and beyond. Why 11 and beyond, you ask? Well, we know there are plenty of podcasts out there that explore the quote-unquote golden age of The Simpsons, that being seasons 1 through 10, and we wanted to explore the newer episodes, the newest when we can. And as we enter a new season, that's what we'll do. And when we can't, we're under the reign of that evil entity known as the Wheel of Random. But we're in the clear this week because we got a new episode. But I can't do this alone. I'm an annoyed grunt boy named Steve, and with me, as always, is
annoyed grunt boy Craig.
Hey, Craig, how was your week?
Let's see here. Nothing too eventful. Went to like an Oktoberfest this weekend. Yeah, I went to a really cool bar called Arcade 2084, which is like meant to be like an 80s bar where all 80s arcade games, nothing past like 82, I believe. Lost consciousness, possible heart attack, had to go to the hospital for the night. Let's see what else I did. Went to see live music, saw a jazz band play, and then just kind of chilling at home, getting more acquainted with those squirrels. How about you?
That sounds great. Wait a minute. Did you say arcade games before 1982?
Yeah, so you had all the classics like Galaga and Pac-Man and some old school arcade or pinball machines. Really fun.
Cool.
They had like 6 of those like tabletop or booth tabletop games where you could sit down and play. Those are always fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. But you really want to know about the big thing, right?
Of course I do.
All right. So the squirrels now come up to me, then get on 2 legs, like ready for me to give them a peanut. Yes,
wow.
they're my friends now.
You're a regular Disney princess.
Yeah, some of them have come inside the house, which I get a little nervous about that, but luckily they haven't like torn anything up or pooped or peed anywhere. It's kind of funny because I left the door open on the patio when I was gone at the jazz band stuff, and like I was gone the whole day. I'm like, oh great, they probably came in and ransacked the place, but they didn't, so that's good.
That's good. Well, I guess that's all I have to say to you. Should we? Well, Actually, did you say some shit about a hospital or something?
Oh, yeah. I almost died.
What?
So this last Friday, the 23rd of September, will date my possible death. Maybe I did. I think I did die for a brief moment, but I came back to life. Yeah. So I'm in the theaters and at a movie, and should I just admit what movie it was?
Yeah, you better.
Okay. Like what, over 10 years ago, a movie shook the nation, the world by storm. That was Jimmy Cameron's Avatar, right?
Oh, boy.
So I never saw it in theaters, and you were supposed to see it in the theaters in 3D because that's what he intended it to be, right? I only ever saw the movie like on home video, on DVD when it came out. I probably rented the DVD through Netflix. Remember when Netflix did the DVDs?
Yeah.
So I've only ever seen it once, and I thought, you know what? We had a couple free movie tickets. So, hey, let's just go see this because, eventually we'll probably see the new one. Just, got to live up with the hype, right?
Sure.
So I'm like, I'll go see it on the big screen finally and in 3D, IMAX 3D, right?
Right.
Do the way James Cameron wants you to see it. Yeah. So we go get the tickets, and I'm, having a regular old movie experience. I got a big thing of root beer and some popped corn and some Sour Patch candies. Just living the good life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I felt a little nauseated with the 3D and like how like certain people that have their TVs on that fast motion where they don't turn it off because it just looks like soap operas.
Yeah.
I felt like that was in the Avatar. Like it felt very fast motion, and the 3D effect was just kind of getting to me. I'm like, this is. I took the glasses off. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stop, look at the screen. Like I said, I felt nauseated, and like put the back on. I'm like, I can't handle this. So I take them off, and I tell Heather, I'm like, I get up, I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the lobby for a bit and just like kind of cool down because I felt very vomity.
And
then I'll come back. Not gonna miss much, right? Because it's like still like a 3-hour movie.
Right.
It was like an hour into it, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm just, again, if I want to watch it again, I can watch it at home. Just find the stuff I missed. Doesn't matter.
Right.
So I get up to walk across the aisle, and we're in the last row, right, of the theater. And so I'm walking, and the next thing I remember is Heather yelling, "Are you alive? Are you alive?"
Whoa.
All right, are you awake? Something like that. Again, still kind of foggy, and I'm laying backwards on the stairs.
Yikes.
Like, I was very dazed, like, what the hell's going on? And the only thing I kind of remember was, I'm not making this up, I did see a bright light. Now, I don't know if there was other patrons like flashing the flashlight phones on me, but I'm still in the dark theater, but I saw brightness. And to be honest, I felt pretty comfortable. Like, this is good.
Yeah.
You know how people say, like, the afterlife, like, people have come back from the dead, like, yeah, you were just in a place of bliss and it was amazing.
Huh.
So I kind of felt like, but maybe it's just like, you know, when you like fall right asleep, you know, you're like, this is
yeah, that sweet
I had
spot.
that nice feeling. Right. But I woke up, you know, the days I sat up, they'd called the paramedics, and after 15 minutes, the paramedics finally arrived. And then by that time, I had already, I was sitting on the stairs, and I got up and like sat in a chair. I'm just still kind of really dazed and like not sure what was going on. I'm a little nervous too, a little scared. Like, what was that? Because I've never, once in my life, I've ever fainted or passed out, and I've seen many 3D movies. I have a PlayStation VR that I use frequently, so I've never got that motion sickness. The only like little motion sickness I had recently was when I was in Universal Studios and did the Simpsons ride, because that felt a little jarring at first because you're moving in and like the images of the movie that's playing, you know.
Yeah.
Your brain's kind of like, what's going on here? I know this isn't real, but it feels real. That type of thing, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But it only was like for a second, then I got accustomed to that for the ride. Anyway, so paramedics finally show up and they, you know, zap me up, you know, check out stuff, and they're like, well, we really want to take you to the hospital. And then I'm like, yeah, no, it's only a couple miles down the street. Heather can drive me. I'm not going in the ambulance because those fuckers are expensive.
Yeah, of course.
So I had to sign the thing, but then of course I'm telling Heather, I'm like, look, I'm fine. I just lost it for a second. You know, I feel fine. I'm walking around, but she still insisted to take me to the hospital, right?
Yeah.
But so I spent the night, that Friday night at the hospital, did all the tests. They found a heart murmur. I have a heart murmur. Yeah.
Yikes.
And then apparently I'm a female. Well,
middle school bullies were right.
I mean, that makes me the female with maybe one of the largest clitorises then.
No, don't get too proud of yourself.
But I'm looking at that. What I was referencing is like I'm looking at my bracelet, because they give you like a hospital bracelet, and it said like my name, my date of birth, my age, and then after age they always put F or M or whatever, you know. And they gave me an F. Maybe that's just like I failed life.
Yeah, as a human being.
So yeah, it was quite a scare. So we don't know, like I have a big bruise on my knee, so I don't know if I hit my head. I don't remember going down or anything, but I have a big bruise on my knee and it's hard to walk.
You're like Alanis Morissette.
I went down.
She remembers going, yeah.
Dave Coulier was there.
Cut it out.
Yeah. So past couple of days, it's just been kind of still like not reliving it, but just kind of like feeling crappy, like just kind of like low key things. But you know, I think it's also like I've also been the heaviest I've ever been, so I think it's time to definitely start losing weight, start exercising, and you know, all those things that you're supposed to do, and not just
I mean, I think it's frightening anytime you lose control of your body, like anytime it like betrays you like that. So yeah, I can only imagine how frightening that must be, and I hope that you're on the mend.
Yeah, and that's what the doctor said too, is like your body knows what's going on. So if your body felt like you were, you know, nauseous, that was the best thing to do, is just get out of that situation. And there was no alcohol involved. I wasn't drinking. There was other substance, of course.
Right.
Look, you're going to see Avatar in 3D IMAX. You're going to take an edible.
For sure.
But listen, I take edibles all the time. So this wasn't something I didn't take a new brand. It was one of our favorite brands that we eat all the time. And it wasn't like I was taking like 20,000 milligrams. It took a typical 10 milligram.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I take when I do this podcast. I take a 10 milligram edible.
Sure.
That's why this has been such a long podcast these days. No, so you know, they kind of, you know, ruled that out because weed doesn't kill people.
Right.
So all in all, I give Avatar 2 stars out of 4. That's my review of Avatar.
Already.
Do I go see Avatar 2 in 3D? I don't know.
I mean, you might have to relive the trauma of seeing Avatar.
Well, we'll see what happens. We're dating this podcast, Steve. You and I are going on a date tomorrow.
That's
we're
right.
gonna see Clerks 3
Yes.
on the big screen, but luckily it's not in 3D.
That'd
And
be frightening. Although it would be apt because it's Clerks 3 and they always do that.
oh yeah. But I think you and I and the rest of our party probably will be consuming alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't know about the drugs, but alcohol probably will be consumed. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to lean towards the drug side of things. And I mean, I'm going to drink, but not.
Oh yeah. We're not going to get shit faced. No. We're
Like
gonna
one
have
time that we saw that one Kevin Smith movie.
yeah.
Whew.
I don't think it was a Q&A. It wasn't a movie.
Oh, I could not tell you.
Yeah.
Wow, all that talk. It made me need a drink. But, as we get older and we enter the 34th season, we start to think about, when I turned 34, I was like, man, I need to make some changes in my life because I want to age like a fine beverage made of grapes. So that's why it's time for our favorite segment, The Simpsons Wine Corner.
Welcome to the Wine Corner.
Wow, that was a great intro, and I love it. But we're not a Frasier podcast. Why did we play that clip?
Well, I mean, Kelsey Grammer voices Sideshow Bob, and at the end, yes, we were playing Frasier and the Frasier music, but at the end there, that was Sideshow Bob's getting hit by a rank sound. The so
Classic.
Simpsons related. We're keeping it kind of near the family. If I did like a Steve Urkel complaining or whining about something you like to whine, right? Is Steve Urkel known as the whiner?
Yeah, did I do that?
Yeah. Was that ever an SNL character, the whiner? Probably played by like Rob Schneider.
I think that was a straight-to-DVD movie that's playing on Comedy Central right this moment.
The whiner is Rob Schneider currently because all he whines about is how Trump lost and how Biden stole the election because Schneider's a piece of shit.
Yeah, not a political podcast, but yeah, Schneider's a piece of shit.
So yeah. Wow, wine. Okay. This is fun. Steve, I'm not really a big wine drinker. I like wine just fine, but it's never my go-to. I know you drink more of it, so maybe like throughout this venture of the wine corner, which of course we'll mix in with the beer corner, and who knows, maybe eventually the cocktail corner.
Perhaps.
But this is gonna be a fun journey with you. And I thought, this is a great way to start season 34. So I guess I should tell you what I'm drinking, right?
Yeah. What do you got for us, Craig?
We have to try to connect the episode with The Simpsons. In general, just connecting this bottle of wine. I found it was the first one that popped to me because, much like a book, read the wine you buy the wine by the label, right?
Right.
The prettiest label, the most intriguing label. That's going to win me over. So I got a wine called the Odd Lot. It's a wine company out of Greenfield, California. The label was fun because it's a couple of gents. One's a short, stocky man. One's a taller, stocky man. I like to think that this is us from they're wearing old timey like 1920s clothes, not 2020 clothes. It's like a cartoon strip. The tall guy says Odd Lot, and then the diminutive fella says Petite Syrah or Petite Verdot. Is that how you say those wines?
Yes.
Petite. Okay. Continue with that. There's a little picture of a map of California where Monterey County is at. It's got the year of 2020 on it. And then the tall guy puts a bottle of wine or a glass of wine on top of the short guy and then kind of like tips him over and stuff like that. And he laughs. It's a very fun label. It tells a story, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I also thought this comes to us too. It says, wine, like politics, again, we're not a political podcast, makes odd bedfellows. This big red blend of 80% Petite Syrah and 20% Petite Verdot is an audacious partnership that defies gravity, much like this podcast. I think we're an audacious partnership.
Absolutely.
And we're like Wicked. We defy gravity.
Sure.
So it poses the question of, are you bold enough to be odd?
Oh.
Yeah, check it out. beoddwines.com. Steve, are you familiar with this or?
No, it does sound like a nice mix. Syrah, for those who don't know, is a nice bright red grape, kind of similar to Pinot Noir that is very popular in the Northwest.
And then what's a Verdot?
It is another grape of a variety that is not as common, but it is seen in both California and Old World wines.
Oh, wow. Old World, like Mars.
Exactly. Who needs moms and moms love wine?
Mars makes wine.
Yeah.
All right, I'm doing the little swirly thing that you're supposed to do, right? To aerate it.
Open it up.
Yeah. Did I smell it first?
Yep.
I'm getting a very fruity bouquet. It smells like fermented grape.
Okay.
With a hint of cranberry.
Okay. Interesting.
And a little bit of pineapple zing. By the way, I'm not a sommelier, if you can tell. There's a great episode of Parks and Recreation, I think in either the last season or the season before, where people are trying to get sommelier jobs. Craig, played by Billy Eichner, and April.
Oh, yeah.
trying to get April played by Aubrey Plaza being wine sommeliers. Okay, can I sip now?
Yep.
Oh, it's red, by the way. It tastes like red wine.
Okay.
Again, not sommelier. This is going to be embarrassing for people that are or that drink wine professionally, like Steve does. I'm just an amateur. I'm getting also like handful of raisins as an aftertaste.
That's fair.
But there is like a hint of cranberry essence. I know there's probably not cranberry in it, but
that's a good note.
I think this is good for this time of year, like a very nice fall red wine. I think this would go well with some chili.
Mm-hmm.
A steak is an obvious one, but I think I'd rather have like a nice, like a bolognese sauce pasta.
Sure.
Sun-dried tomatoes. That's what I get. I get sun-dried tomatoes in this.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
Maybe a nice margarita pizza would go well with this.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
I'm enjoying it. It's a nice sipping wine. Let's give it a go, everyone. Let's see. What does it say by alcohol? It's a 13.5% alcohol.
Okay, so that's kind of heavier on the heavier end of wine.
All right. I gave it a yum.
Sounds good.
What do you got for us, Steve?
Well, Craig, I also was inspired by the label. And so I went with this La Trona, which is a variety of the small grape from Spain. And the...
like the dish.
Exactly, like paella.
Yeah,
this would actually probably pair very well with paella. And the artwork on the label features a drawing of a little turtle. And this episode's all about a missing turtle.
So you connected too. You have the paella Spanish relation and then the turtle. And you just now thought of the Spanish.
Yeah, because it's possible that when I bought the wine, the only thing I had to go on was the title.
Look, I was going to drink turtle wax, so.
As for the turtles. So this is from Klaus Lenticus, the vineyard. It's a 2018 vintage. So yeah, this is a red wine from Spain. There's no sulfur added. It is of the Samal variety. Which
fuck that. I want sulfur.
Well, maybe next week.
I'll just put it in a hot springs.
There you go. It's biodynamically produced, so they don't do a lot of additives to it. They just kind of throw the grapes into wherever it ages. And it comes in at 12% alcohol. And although this is red wine, I thought that it'd be good chilled because some red wines, despite popular convention, actually are very nice chilled. So I put it in the fridge for a little bit.
Oh, I also say I did chill my wine too. So
okay, yeah, there's no shame in that. And so some info about this wine: only 500 cases were produced of this wine, and it was hand harvested and spent 5 days on the skins with the stems. So it's kind of a natural wine.
This sounds expensive for some reason. Like my wine, by the way, price point is $12.99 at your local Kroger. What'd you spend? $12,199?
Before my store discount, 26.
Okay, so it is more of a spendy wine.
It's a smaller batch wine that I don't know. I thought season premiere, why not?
Okay, well, I thought $12.99 was. Guys, I'll be reviewing the cheap wines. Mr. Moneybags over here.
I get a discount on my wines at the place that I work. So
I'm notifying the OLCC.
It's a legal discount. So to smell this, it smells, even though it's only 12%, it smells boozier than that. It also has a nose of like leather and kind of.
Steve said nose. He's such a small.
Sorry. I used to be a wine buyer. I'm a dork. But no, it kind of smells of leather and kind of warm things. So I'm going to take a sip.
Oh, is there peat moss essence and
a little bit?
It's very peaty flavor. Ooh.
Okay. Very full bodied. A lot of like tannins that grips at your tongue, but it's very nice. I'd say notes of blueberry, and I don't want to be like a wine asshole, but no, it's got really nice juicy notes. It's very bright, kind of like a grape Jolly Rancher, if you will.
Ooh,
in a good way.
That's going to be a common. Because I think that was actually from the Parks and Recreation episode. I think, doesn't April say it? It tastes like a grape Jolly Rancher, I think.
I personally think that's a very valid descriptor. And
maybe it's not. I think you brought that up before about certain wines. Just say
it might be.
Yeah.
It's something I do say because
I get you and Aubrey Plaza confused. So
I appreciate that.
You both have to work with Chris Pratt type of guys.
That's right. I get you and Chris Pratt confused because you're always going, it's me, a Mario.
Always talking about my father-in-law, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that any descriptor that you use for wine, if it's true to you, it's the right one. And I don't like this whole like the gatekeeping and the whole like snobbiness about wine or anything really. So this is a really nice wine. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's the point of the wine corner. It's like we're not going to be Fraser and Niles. We're going to be Stephen Craig.
Right, exactly.
We're going to dumb it down because just taste what you taste.
Exactly.
Come up with like the right metaphors or similes.
Yeah. No, this wine just drinks really
tastes
easy.
Good.
Yeah, and I want to drink more of it, so that's good. I think this would go really well with, like you said, paella, but also pizza or even like chicken or any sort of lighter meat. I also think I kind of coincidentally picked a good one for the season, kind of like the end of summer into fall,
Yep.
where it's not too heavy, but just kind of cozy. And so I also say yum yum.
And remember, never pair fish with red wine, you savages.
Fish has to be served with clamato juice.
Or yoo-hoo for people like me.
That's right.
Yoo-hoo and fish sticks. What a great meal. If you're cool.
Yeah. Sounds like something Weird Al would have in a song.
Well, Steve, you know what's not weird?
What's that, Craig?
I don't know. You're host of this podcast. You do the
segues.
Yeah.
So I think we're done with wine for the evening. So we better sober up.
We are sober men and true and attentive to our duty.
So now that we're done with wine, let's go back into our time machine all the way back to September 25th, 2022. What was the number one movie in the box office?
It should have been Avatar re-release, but it wasn't. It's everyone's favorite memeable thing, or I don't know. It's the internet's loving this now.
Yeah.
Don't Worry, Darling, starring everyone's favorite Chris Pine.
Mm-hmm.
You got I love saying her name because it's like when you're exacerbated, like Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
Of course, directed by Olivia Wilde, who is going through a bad divorce with everyone's favorite Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis. Who do we love more?
Oh,
well, apparently the internet still loves Ted Lasso, but everyone, I guess, the internet doesn't like Olivia Wilde.
That's
I
right.
don't know.
And
there's some bad blood with like Florence Pugh and Olivia Wilde, like hate each other. And then also future greatest actor of all time, Harry Styles, apparently is in this, and
yeah,
is interesting a performance from what I hear.
Yeah, and something about Chris Pine too.
Yeah, like there was that whole like week of like memes of like, did Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine? And
yeah,
I don't know. Harry Styles, like at least Harry Styles is only in in this movie. Let's get away from Harry Styles, okay, Steve?
Okay, yeah.
Maybe we just go on to like something else.
Yeah, let's forget all that ugliness with Chris Pine and Harry Styles, and we'll talk about music. So the number one song on the Billboard Hot 100 is "As It Was" by Harry Styles.
Steve, I'm having like, I don't know if it's because I died last week, but I swear to God, we had this song. It was like the number one song, but that was like in April or something like that of 2022. But this is now September going into October. How could that still be the number one song? Are we in a weird time warp? Or did you get your information right?
Yes, Craig, I'll let you know that song has been on the Billboard Hot 100 at number one for 14 weeks in a row.
That how long we've been off? It's 14 weeks.
I think maybe, yeah.
Was this the song of the summer?
It could have been because it's been on the charts.
Summer.
It's been on the charts for 24 weeks.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's been a hit for quite a while. It harkens back to last season when that Glass Animal song that we hated and then learned to love was on there every week.
I don't know if I'm gonna learn to love As It Was.
Yeah, I know.
People love Harry Styles.
They really do.
But apparently he can't act, and that's what I've heard about this movie.
Oh, really?
And like Marvel signed him to be in like Marvel movies, and you know, people are like, ew, his performance, I guess, in this movie is supposed to be very odd or goofy. Do we need to review this song? It's a song.
It is a song.
All right.
There are notes, there are tunes, yeah. So, Craig, let's talk about what we're talking about today. Let's discuss the episode, the season 4.
That wine's got to you,
okay. Let's talk about the episode that we're discussing today. That's season premiere of season 34, Habeas Tortoise, in which after Homer humiliates himself in front of a town meeting, he looks for acceptance in an internet group hunting for a missing tortoise, but finds something much more sinister.
The Sinister Six?
Perhaps. Sandman, Doc Ock, the rest. We'll be right back. And we're back. Today we're talking about Habeas Tortoise, the first episode of the 34th season, originally aired September 25th, 2022. It is episode 729, the show's run. Your nerd code is UAB F16. It was written by Brody Gupta. Your director is Matthew Fainan, and your showrunner is Al Jean and Matt Selman.
All right. Brody Gupta. I believe this is her first episode of The Simpsons that we will review.
Yes.
And it's her first episode of The Simpsons, right?
Yes. I think she may have been a staff writer before, but this is her first
credited.
credit.
Yeah. She's written articles and essays for McSweeney's, The New Yorker, The New York Times,
wow,
The Washington Post, but not the New York Post because, she's an actual writer.
Yeah. And that's a rag not worthy of rat feces.
It's a rag that this group of conspiracy theorists in Springfield will probably read.
That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, this is her first credit episode, like you said. She has a podcast too.
Uh-oh.
Do you know what that is?
Lecture Hall, where you learn stuff. It's an educational comedy podcast.
So something that's actually beneficial to people that listen to it, not like us. I mean, not that we're, not educational. We kind of
teach
are.
People about The Simpsons.
We teach you pop culture.
Yeah, from 1984.
She's had, there's been some good guests on there. You have Andy Richter, A.O.
Edebry from
Ed
The
Debris,
Bear.
that's from The Bear. She's also writes on What We Do in the Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast is also hosted by Dylan Gilula. Is that how you say that?
I do believe. Dylan.
Galula. What is this? David Letterman, 1992, talking about who is it?
Uma? Oprah.
Galula. Oprah. Yeah. So what? She's probably like 20 years younger than us too.
I do believe. Yeah, she's not. She's probably would be considered like an up and comer, or maybe like even one of those 30s under 30 to watch.
Great. She's talented.
Mm-hmm.
Not like us.
Yeah, her Twitter feed is great. She's a very funny person.
We could be a very funny person.
Maybe cut ourselves in half and glued one half together. Would be one funny person and one horrible person.
You know what she probably hasn't done?
What's that?
Drank a lot of soda and ate candy and popcorn and watched a 3D movie and passed out and almost died.
It's true. I mean, she had to get the second half for sure.
Like, wouldn't that be the most embarrassing way I died? Like, well, he just had a sugar rush and he tripped on stairs and he's dead.
Call you Willy Wonka.
That would make me a very funny person then.
That would be very silly.
Yeah.
Silly way to die.
Yeah. I would be
like when your parents warned you about when you're a kid, like, you can't eat all that popcorn and sugar and candy, you'll die. And you're like, no. And 20 years later, boom.
Would I be in the would I have the Darwin Award, maybe, like be in the running for that?
Maybe.
Every year there's the Darwin Awards. I don't know if it's an official award, but it's for deaths that happened in a very amusing manner.
Yeah, it's like the Razzies of life.
Yeah, but it's like people that like intentionally do something stupid they shouldn't, be like, well, I'm gonna make toast in the bathtub, and then they get electrocuted.
Yeah.
That would be a Darwin winner.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Steve, sorry, you can't make your toast tonight after the podcast in the
Aw.
bathtub. Yeah.
Crap. I love bold, tasty times.
Yeah, but what if the bathtub was just filled with melted butter, and
Ooh.
then you're toasting it, then you just dip that toast right into the butter? A pool
Salted by me.
of liquid melted butter, but not like Bernie temperature.
No.
And then you like solidify in it.
Oh.
I'm gonna make the butter bath.
Oh yes.
All right. Well, Steve, should we just talk about finally season 34, episode
We're
1?
here.
Yeah.
New season. It's amazing.
Not related to the market. New seasons.
Right, of course.
New seasons should be closed for 3 months in the summer, and then start back up in the fall. New season.
Yeah. And they should just change their name 4 times a year.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let's go to fall. You mean the season? No, the store will buy some overpriced produce. And then, let's go to winter 3 months later.
I'm there for it.
Yeah.
All right.
So we open with no title gag, but we do get a couch gag, and a really fun one at that. I don't know how many people out there use Google Chrome, but if you do and you're not connected to the internet, you get a little fun game with a dinosaur, a T-Rex, run across the screen, and you hit the spacebar to make them jump over the items. And the Simpsons are spoofing that because you get them jumping over cactuses, and they jump over 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, and it's going well. They jump again, and then they jump onto a couch, but Homer gets maybe his penis stuck on a cactus. I don't know.
We've all been there, right?
Yeah. And the final score of the game is 144 points, which, as far as I can tell, means nothing.
Getting your penis stuck in a cactus is called an Arizona wedding.
Prick on a prick.
Well, Steve, that was fun. I didn't know about the Google thing.
No,
I was
yeah.
like, can I test it out? But it doesn't make sense. I'm online right now recording this podcast. We don't want to do that.
No.
I'll try it some other time, right?
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Okay. Well, season 34 begins as every season 34 begins with city council meeting.
Yay.
Yeah. Mayor Quimby brings to a vote for a referendum no longer celebrating Columbus Day due to the problematic behavior of Christopher Columbus. And I was really hoping that it was going to be a joke about the director, Chris Columbus, and not actual Christopher Columbus. Because like he only directed the first 2 Harry Potter movies. He should have done all of them.
And maybe Uncle Buck wasn't as good as you remember.
But no, it's the majority of the Springfield residents vote for an aye for the cancellation of Christopher Columbus. But then the Italian American community, mostly made up of the only Italians that we know of in Springfield, like Luigi, Fat Tony, Legs, Louis, and some other mobsters there, shouting the disagreement. So Mayor Quimby then introduces a terrifying engaged citizen who has had her hand up since before the meeting began. And I'm thinking, is this either Lisa or Marge?
Yep.
But it's not. Let's find out who it is.
Okay.
Helen Lovejoy.
I've noticed lately that people have been putting up quite a few little DIY free libraries all over town.
What's DIY stand for?
Do it yourself.
I'm trying to, but I can't.
Just this past week, 6 new ones popped up. Think about the consequences, people. Free books? What if one of them is the Kama Sutra? That's just bait for learned perverts.
There is no classical art without the erotic.
Ew. You and me gotta hang sometime.
I like those little libraries. Unlike the public school library, these have books written after 1945. The children think Iceland is still a kingdom.
Oh, these abominations don't follow the rules of my neighborhood association. What if someone paints it an unauthorized shade of white? Like Swiss coffee!
Swiss coffee. That's the worst color to paint a mini library.
It's horrible. Before I go any further, I just need to say that I love the new learned pervert.
Is he the hot new character of The Simpsons?
I think so, yeah. I think that I'm going to go hop on Tapped Out and get him in his porn palace.
He kind of looks like a little like maybe Ricky Gervais.
A little bit like if Ricky Gervais and the dude from
Inside the Actor Studio.
Or or I was going to say Garrison Keillor, but also
okay.
Yeah, you're right. James
Lipton,
yes.
I mean, his iced tea is okay.
Yeah, and his soup packets are gross.
Yeah, actually, kind of looks like me with shorter hair. Wait a minute.
Are you a learned pervert?
I have the Kama Sutra on my Kindle.
It's just in black and white, though.
Yeah. I have the audiobook of the Kama Sutra read by the love master himself, Billy D. Williams.
Oh, works every time. Yeah. My copy was by Gilbert Gottfried.
I think we're going to keep it in like the Star Wars universe. Like mine was a Chewbacca.
Jabba the Hutt. Hitoku Koku.
Yeah.
Sorry for all the Hutts out there. I hope I don't offend. Yeah,
there's like Gorgo, isn't there? There's like, I don't know. That sounds like a Hutt name, Gorgo.
Yeah.
No, Gorgu. That's Yoda.
Yeah.
Since we called Gorgu Baby Yoda, can we just now call Yoda Grandpa Gorgu?
I like that. Yeah. That's good.
That's Grandpa good Gorgu. Star Wars joke humor on the Simpsons podcast.
Oh, yeah. So some of the free libraries mentioned are one with a rainbow and a roof on the roof and a sun painted on the side.
We have one that's the shape of a ship, presumably belonging to the sea captain.
We got one with Jesus in the manger as Joseph and Mary Christ look on, presumably owned by Ned Flanders.
But it would be funny if it was actually Reverend Lovejoy's and Helen's
yeah.
is complaining about it. But I like how when they show that one, you hear Flanders in the background, which is like,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I love that. Finally, we get one with a Lard Lad library with the books placed inside the burger mascot's tummy.
Yay. Craig, I actually happen to have a little free library in front of our house. I got it for my wife for our anniversary a couple years ago. And it's been good because, we get to get rid of some of our old books and, people drive by with books and they restock it.
Yeah, you're also like on a major street too. Like,
yeah,
I've always wanted one, but like I live in a cul-de-sac in the middle of suburbia, so I don't think anyone would ever come by.
So every now and then we get some less than savory folks coming by to look at the library, and sometimes they'll
Steve, you could say it. Mormons.
That's right. They don't like the Harry Potter books. So sometimes there'll be like weird stuff in there, or some people just wipe it out. But the saddest and funniest thing that we've ever gotten in there is, first of all, somebody had placed a children's book, a picture book, if you will, about dinosaurs and extinction. And then the following day, somebody had evidently read that book, and then they inserted into the end of the book the top of a Newport cigarettes box with the phrase crudely written in Sharpie, "Not for kids."
What?
Yeah.
So you just had a carton of cigarettes, or was it just empty?
No, just like a cigarette box, like the top of the cigarette box, and they wrote "not for kids" and used it, or like they wrote "this book is not for kids." So
on an empty box of cigarettes.
Yeah, and they used that as a bookmark. So either this person was an adult who was smoking cigarettes and read this book and was bummed out, or what I like to imagine is that there was a 6-year-old walking the street having his morning cig. He read this, was horrified that the dinosaurs died like that. He stuck it back in, and then he lit up another cigarette, saddened by the...
This sounds like a Simpsons bit, like a character like, oh my god, and it's like,
yeah, exactly,
and then smokes and goes away. Yeah.
So wherever you are, Smokey Joe. Sorry.
I'm going to be coming by your house tomorrow. Maybe I'll drop off a book in there just for fun.
Yeah, or maybe a pack of cigarettes.
Well, I don't smoke, Steve, so
that's true.
And I don't read, so it's going to be a book. Can I put a DVD in there instead?
People have.
It's kind of. Oh, maybe I'll put a comic book in there. Do I have I'm sure I have something. I'm sure I got something in the house that I'm like, I don't need this shit.
Yeah, if you want to, feel free. I gave away a lot of Spider-Man collections.
Yeah, I got something called my wedding album. I don't need this. Well, you know what? I might have some Bibles I'll put in there.
Ooh, that's. It's usually just one person who got obsessed with one writer, and so we'll have like
all James Pattersons.
Exactly. Yeah. VC Andrews, but nothing more.
Oh, you know what it is? Like, I think I have the past years where there had been like a Yankee swap, or also known as White Elephant parties, where I think maybe like one of those, I got like a bunch of weird books. Maybe I'll just bring one of those weird books over.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, that was fun. Looking forward to, the new pervert guy. Uh-huh. I have it paused where he's at. And he's got his little pipe, and he's sitting right next to Lindsay Nagel. But then there's a guy sitting right to him on his left that just has a T-shirt with a drawing of a pig on it.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Like 1 minute and like 12 seconds. Just the animator's like, he needs something on his shirt. I don't know, a pig. What an odd choice.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's supposed to be somebody.
Maybe he owns like a meat smoking restaurant. Maybe he smokes meat.
Barbecue.
Yeah, a barbecue. There we go. That was the word I'm looking for.
Maybe he smokes meat.
Yeah.
A meat smokist.
All right. Well, Steve, back into The Simpsons. The town folks mutter in disagreement as Homer speaks up and introduces himself. He mentions that he's standing even in the presence of a chair to suggest that the city take all the little free book huts and then move them into one big building open to everybody. And then Lenny asks if Homer's suggesting a library. And then we pan out to reveal that this meeting is being held in the Springfield Public Library. So the meeting attendance, we got looks like we got Julio there, Rich Texan, Gabbo, and his ventriloquist Arthur Crandall. Looks like we got Bumblebee Man there. Everyone's just laughing at Homer because he's a fucking idiot. And then Homer was looking into the glass and reflection, asking his reflection if he's really a stupid man. And Homer's reflection stammers for a little bit before stating that reflections can't talk before running away. That's really weird. So his reflection's gone. Who is he, Peter Pan?
Ew.
I guess Peter Pan's shadow runs away, not his reflection.
That's true.
What does that mean? Is it some sort
But he could be a vampire.
Yeah, vampires, they can't see reflections. That's true. Yeah. Well, I mean, he is like still 39 or 36 years old. He's been off the air for 34 years. And there was that one Treehouse of Horror where they did turn into vampires.
And I haven't seen him specifically eat garlic.
Is there a garlic in paella?
Normally, there is.
Well, maybe
a lot of paella talk in this episode.
Anyways, so Homer and Marge then leave the meeting, and Homer, hiding behind Marge's hair, is embarrassed.
Oh no. So back at 742 Evergreen Terrace, Homer sits with his family on the couch, feeling depressed. They all say ideas all the time, but when Homer mentions one idea, he gets shot down, just like they shot down the Titanic. Lisa attempts to correct her father, but Marge shoves a saxophone into Lisa's face. Homer tells Marge that she's married to a dummy, and then amends himself, saying that he is a dumb.
I thought the Titanic was shot down by I believe was Maverick from the movie Maverick, Top Gun.
That's right.
That's my pitch for Top Gun 3 is Maverick goes back in time and he has to blow up the Titanic.
Wow, I like that.
Because the Iceman's dead, so he's getting revenge on all ice.
Yeah.
Spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
because Tom Cruise is crazy and he would do something like that.
Right.
Tom Cruise's next movie, he's hired people because he actually does travel back in time. He's hired physicists to create a time machine for him to film a movie back in time.
That's right.
And he meets his idol L. Ron Hubbard and finds out the truth that he's in a cult. But he's the only one. There's no one else that we know that's into Scientology.
Nope, not at all. Ugh.
We love you all, Simpsons voice actors.
Yeah, you're great.
Yeah. All right. Well, Homer is getting his head massaged by his wife, played by Marge, saying that his big, beautiful head is full of great ideas, just waiting to be set free. Homer feels that he might be all right, provided that Marge continues to rub his head for the rest of his life.
The animation on that.
Yeah, let's bring that up.
Yeah.
It's gross, but also very well done.
Exactly. Yeah. It looks weird, but also it's kind of perfect.
He just has like so much like fat skin from his head.
I have that? I don't know. Okay. I'm okay.
Check your other head.
Oh, there it is.
Much like Homer's head, your head also has two little pubes on the side of it that in the shape of M, and then on the top of it, you have two little circles, half circles. Yep. I think we've discussed that before, haven't we?
Yeah, I think so.
That Homer has two little M pubes on the side of his Mons pubis.
Yeah.
Mons pubis also does sound like a Star Wars character.
It does.
We've got to get the Death Star plans from Mons pubis. He's over on Clitoria.
That place doesn't exist.
All right. But yeah, very fun animation. Good job to Brody Gupta. I'm assuming she drew it.
Probably, yeah.
So anyways, Marge then suggests to go somewhere that will make Homer feel better, which is the Springfield Zoo, which has a sign that reads, "Please don't put whistles on the zebras." They don't get this reference.
I like that joke a lot.
It is really funny. Thinking about it makes me really laugh. Like when I read it on the screen, I'm like, that's funny, but reading it out loud, it's funnier for some reason.
Yeah.
They don't get this reference. Like there's references the zebras do get, but this one they don't get.
And then I'm imagining also like an actual football game with the Detroit Lions and the Cincinnati Bengals, but it's the actual cats.
Oh man.
And bears, and like the refs are and the zebras are refs.
Was that like I never saw those like movies with Chris Rock. Wasn't he like a zebra in a movie?
Madagascar.
Did they ever make that joke of like there was a sporting game that he had to be the ref?
I don't know, but I could definitely see that happening.
Not gonna watch those movies, but
no, we don't need to do Patreon episode on that.
Unless it has like Simpson connection, which it probably does. Like Tress McNeil probably plays like a critter for 2 seconds in it.
Yeah, and Matt Selman's probably like has a writing credit on it or something. So Homer's self-pity party continues, complaining about the credit card machine at the ticket booth that told him to remove the card, and as if he didn't know how. And then, he got his card stuck because, well, he didn't know how. Homer wants to go home, but Lisa mentions that they haven't even seen any animals yet. Homer's concerned that all the animals will think he's dumb. But as Lisa points out, the hyenas are laughing because, well, that's just the sound they make. However, there's no real excuse for the laughing rhinos that are laughing at Homer.
Speaking of the credit card things, like you're always waiting for it to, beep and go through. But like, there's a lot of times when the beeps, it sounds like a decline beep, like what? But it's not. Like it's like that sounds like decline, not like
right.
You're good. It should be like
the ba-ding, ba-ding.
Yeah, it should be a more pleasant, like doo-doo. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
And then, like most of the machines now have like the tapping thing, which I'm still not accustomed to tapping it, Steve. I can't tap that machine.
Most people can't tap that
because it's the same thing, right? Because you understand with customer service, like, well, I've never done this before. Oh my god, it's so embarrassing. Let me just slide it. Okay.
Yeah. And like we have at our store, we have like a chip reader too. And for our machine, if the chip reader doesn't work, it has to fail 3 times and then you can swipe.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, it doesn't work. I'm like, well, it has to fail 3 times. And then they start to slide. I'm like, no, you have to enter it. You have to explain it to people so many times and they don't want to listen to you.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
No, that my local Kroger, that'll happen because I have a Kroger credit card, and it's a lot of times when I put the chip reader in, it does like 3 times, and I just swipe it.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big deal.
It's not that hard. Just look at the screen and do what it says. I don't know.
Do what the robots tell you to do, people.
Exactly. Just give me your money.
Do you ever just that work? Yeah, you can just Venmo this to
me.
Exactly.
I'll make sure you're taken care of.
Or just write a check to Cash. That's my name, Cash.
Yeah.
Anyone know what a check
Lebanese
is?
spelling though. It's yeah. When's the last time you wrote a check?
I wrote a check my body can't cash because I did some crazy air moves with my airplane. I should probably haven't watched Top Gun before this, right? I'm making too many Top Gun references.
Maybe.
That's a good question. Let me check. I mean, I've received checks that I've had to deposit, but through my phone. I remember the last time I had physically had to deposit a check, though. I don't know.
Right.
Like, probably 2009.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, I'm trying to think even the last time I went into a bank.
Besides the sperm.
Exactly. It's probably been, probably about a decade, honestly.
Look at us old people. Kids these days, they won't know what checks are.
Nah.
They only know checks as a nationality of people. Czechoslovakians.
Exactly. And are they still a thing? I don't know.
Well, then the family comes upon a sign celebrating Slow Leonard, a 150-year-old tortoise living at the zoo. Homer loves this reptile. He can't believe he's still alive. As they head to Leonard's enclosure, Lisa and Homer discuss classic literature for making a startling discovery.
The mighty tortoise, dumber than me, loser to the hare.
The tortoise famously wins that race.
Really? I only read the beginning of that story really fast. Then I got tired and took a nap.
I don't see any tortoise.
Excuse me, do you know what happened to Leonard?
Leonard? Huh, I don't see him. That's weird. Well, the thing about a tortoise is they're always somewhere.
He must have gotten out. Who's in charge here?
I am the director of the zoo. Would you like a koala sticker?
Yes, I would. Slow Leonard is missing.
Now, let's not panic, sir. I don't see him either, but I'm sure there's some explanation. We'll look into it.
Look into it? I know when I'm being talked down to. You think I'm dumb, don't you?
No, I don't. But do you have a degree in zoology?
No, but I've seen the comedy classic Zookeeper 19 times.
I love that movie.
I don't need your approval, and neither does Sylvester Stallone as the voice of Joe the African Lion.
The beginning bit with Homer reading The Tortoise and Hare. The funny joke of he read it too fast, fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good. Tress McNeil, as playing the zookeeper, hits it out of the goddamn park again.
Yep, every
this
time.
This character is so funny. Like, also like the best like customer service. Like Homer is being such a dick. Like I mean, my favorite thing that she says in that one is like, like the tortoise is missing. Like she's like, well, that's the thing about tortoises; they're always somewhere.
That's a great line.
Like, do you have a degree in zoology? No. Like, oh, she's so funny in this.
Also, I like that they both like the film The Zookeeper, which is from 2011 and stars Kevin James and Rosario Dawson. It also has a big cast. They mentioned Sylvester Stallone. It also has great people like Donnie Wahlberg and Joe Rogan and Cher and Jim Brewer and Nick Nolte. That's like half. That's not even half the cast. There's so many people in that movie.
Wait, I thought you were just like referencing like jerk people. Like, why'd you put Cher into those?
I don't know. I thought I was just going to list jerk people, but then I saw Cher too, and I was like, oh, she should be included. She's a delight.
I never even heard this movie until today.
I do believe it is kind of like
Night at the Museum, right?
Yeah.
Is it in the same universe?
I don't think so.
Because I could see them doing that. Like, might as well make it in the same universe.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, but yeah, basically, I believe that Kevin James is the titular zookeeper, and all these people voice animals, kind of like a Dr. Dolittle situation, maybe.
Right? And Rosario Dawson, that kid, he was in the movie Kids. Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
Like one of her first roles. Wait, Rosario Dawson's in Clerks too, and that was directed by Kevin James.
Exactly. I bet you they both own the same number of jean shorts.
Yeah, that's an inside joke to Kevin Smith fans out there, which I know we have at least one of Kevin Smith fans that listen to this podcast. Do we do Zookeeper on our Patreon? That
Maybe.
We'll eventually do. I was so close to dying not having to commit to a Patreon too.
I know.
Ooh, unless, Steve, I do die.
Do die.
Can I be the first ghost podcaster?
Ooh.
It's like, what do you want your afterlife to be? A ghost podcaster. And God's like, Zoom up here is pretty expensive. I'm not paying monthly for that.
Yeah. You need a really good connection.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Craig. I hate to inform you, there's already been a ghost podcast.
Oh, no.
It's called Till, starring Whoopi Goldberg. She was in Ghost, so it's a ghost podcast.
Does she get to make out with Demi Moore?
Yep.
What do you think?
So much play.
She's about to kiss her, but then they like pan out to show that it's actually Patrick Swayze. Oh, he's actually a ghost now. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wait, here's the podcast. I'll interview dead celebrities
Oh, yeah.
with you. So like you're the living connection. You know, we got to connect Wi-Fi somehow.
Right.
I'll get Stephen Hawking and Albert Einstein to figure out to do Wi-Fi in the afterlife to connect with, you know, they can figure that shit out, right?
Sure. And then we can get
Steve Jobs, maybe. Oh, well, Steve Jobs might be in hell, so I don't know.
That's true. But we can get Jimi Hendrix and Kurt Cobain and Dean Martin to like have a band or whatever.
Well, I mean, I might get Sam Cooke. I mean, there's a reference to Sam Cooke later in this
that's
episode,
true.
so maybe try to get him.
Yeah.
Write us a theme song, you know?
I'd be a little preachy.
All right. Let's get back to the real life of The Simpsons.
Alrighty.
So Homer places a penny into the Springfield Zoo's penny stretcher. You guys know what those are? You go to like any like theme park, being in like Disneyland, like there's so many of those things.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I remember these, but to me, it was always just the zoo that had it.
Right. Me too. I just always remember getting one with an elephant on it.
And it's funny, the ones in Disneyland though, like, because you still have to go to like put your 50 cents in and a penny.
Right.
But the ones in Disneyland, I think you put $5 in and then you get a penny. You don't have to put the penny in. So that's good.
So, yeah.
I think you have to get a loan first to get one of those pennies.
Right. You gotta fill out a form.
Yeah. Disneyland's expensive.
Yeah.
I can't imagine families going there like, you got to take a loan out.
Yeah.
Just for two people, it's reasonable, you know, but I can't get a lightsaber and a droid. I got to pick one. I'm not making money over here. All right. But so, yeah, Homer does the penny thing. Did you like doing that, though, when you were a kid?
Mean, yeah, I definitely did it a few times. But after a while on the ride home, I would hold it in my hand and look at it and be like, huh, okay.
Yeah, like, what do you do with that? Like, you get
Right.
home and you put it like in your like junk drawer or something.
Right. Like you have a box of memories that like, I went to the zoo.
Okay.
I'm like, okay.
I remember like going on field trips and taking disposable cameras or even like real cameras and then getting the film developed.
Yeah.
Like all these photos. Do you have any of those?
No.
Someone does, or does a landfill have those?
I have a box of random photos from like my own collection and just like from my parents after they passed, but they're in my closet somewhere and I've not looked at them in quite a while. So I don't know that I will.
Maybe tonight.
Yeah. It's weird. It's just weird to like look at photos of yourself and be like, yep, I did that.
But now I want to go and look at old photos.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I had a near-death experience. I want to relive my life
you're
one more
reflecting.
time.
Yeah.
Reflecting, yes. Yes, I'm going to be bringing my death up in every podcast right now, aren't I?
Till the day you die.
Look, I think I died, all right?
Very possible.
Heather said, like, I was out for minutes, but, you know, when you're in distress, you know, seconds turn into minutes.
Yeah, time is hard to comprehend.
Yeah,
in those
I'm
moments.
going to assume I was out for at least just like 15 seconds, but to her, I was 15 minutes.
Who knows? I mean, could have been even longer.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Why does my clock say year 2023? Weird.
Here we are back on season 35 of The Simpsons.
Well, what? That would kind of suck.
Yeah.
No, like if you were
You have to catch up on so much stuff.
Yeah, like do I just give up on TV shows then? Like, look, you know what? I guess I'll watch The Simpsons. That's easy to digest. But if you think I'm going to watch the last season of Flash and it's been a year, you're mistaken. I gave up on the Flash years ago, even though I'm still watching it.
Yeah.
How many Marvel movies will I miss? Like, God damn it.
Yeah, Game of Thrones will make no sense to you.
Yeah, I probably just give up on Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
like,
sounds right.
I don't need to rewatch that. If I have to watch one fantasy thing that has dragons in it, I'm going to watch Lord of the Rings. Sorry, Game of Thrones fans.
Woo!
Yeah.
Throne.
Yeah. Look, I'm a token Tolkien. I love me Tolkien. Even though, of course, real Tolkien fans are like, oh, this show, come on. Do you think Stephen Colbert even watches it?
Probably not. I'll ask him when I'm in New York.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're good to New York. Oh,
I got tickets to a show, actually.
Oh, cool. Oh, but we don't watch Colbert.
I know, but that's all I could get.
You couldn't get Myers?
Nope, they're not offering any NBC tours.
Oh, because of
and then like to get seats, it's like it's like months out, and I tried like.
You could not get SNL if you tried.
No way.
But I mean, at least you get to Colbert. That's Ed Sullivan Theater, so that's historic.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I have nothing against Colbert.
No,
it's just I liked it better when he was a fake Republican.
Right. I liked it better when he's a high school teacher.
Yeah, I liked it when he said inappropriate things to his students in Stranger with a Candy, which you can't say these days.
Right, but still a great show. It still holds up.
I
mean, it doesn't on some parts, but yeah.
Again, back to that penny, Steve. He does the penny thing. He states that a tortoise is missing and that he's the dumb guy that's going to find him. But he takes that flat coin, which features Slow Leonard, and he's like, all right, so that's a recent picture. That's kind of funny.
It is. But I mean, given the span of the tortoise's life, it is a recent picture.
Because tortoises can live for a long, long time.
Very true. That evening, Homer is working furiously on his laptop, and the rest of his family watches, concerned. Bart wonders why his father isn't at Moe's, and if Moe is all right. Marge tells her children that Homer has been scouring over pictures they took at the zoo, hunting for clues about Slow Leonard's whereabouts. Homer tells himself that he's smart enough to crack this case when he finds something of interest on one of the photos. Dolly tire tracks.
Oh, no. Not Dolly Parton brand tire tracks.
Nor a doll with tire tracks across her face.
All right, Homer figures that someone used a dolly to haul the tortoise away, and Homer recognizes those from a Hall Probe convertible dolly with a 500-pound weight cap. His daughter, Lisa, is impressed with her father's deductive skills, and Homer explains that he knows a thing or two about dollies. So he then flashes back to Moe's. Well, Moe is using a dolly to wheel his drunk ass out, and he throws Homer onto the hood of his car.
Then he says drive home safe, which is very irresponsible. Homer takes this case to the Springfield Police Department because he feels that he has more than enough evidence to open a missing turtles investigation. Chief Wiggum agrees that Homer has provided some incredible evidence of how dumb Homer is. Clancy quips that he loves it when regular people think they can solve crimes. It's like a dog thinking he can mow the lawn. Then Chief Wiggum and Homer both laugh, imagining a dog mowing the lawn. Chief Wiggum is riding a riding mower, while Homer's pooch is pushing a push mower. Back at home, Marge gives Homer a suggestion that leads them to a welcoming community.
No one takes me seriously.
You know, there's a lot of specific interest groups on Facebook. I'm in one about knitting mug cozies with a little window so you can read the funny message on the mug. Why don't you check to see if there's a group about Leonard's case?
Social media? Is that website still on? Hey, there is a missing tortoise group here. It's called Lost Leonard. But what if they say I'm stupid? Or drag me in the comments? Do you know how scary it is in this climate to be a dumb white man?
You care about that, Turtle? I think you'll feel better if you try.
The police don't believe me, but I'm posting some photos that I think prove that Slow Leonard has been kidnapped.
Dad, they're agreeing with you. They think Leonard was stolen too.
Really? Oh my god! A group of anonymous cyber sleuths don't think I'm an idiot!
So one of my favorite jokes in the when Homer's like, social media, is that website still there?
Yeah.
I had to type in socialmedia.com and see if it exists.
Ooh,
and it
nice.
goes straight to Groupon. So Groupon owns socialmedia.com.
Wow.
Which begs the question, Groupon still exists?
I was going to say, I don't remember. 2012, I would say, is the last time I used Groupon.
No, I know specifically when I used Groupon. It was probably 2019.
Oh, wow. That's not too long.
And there's a local establishment that had a Groupon. It's a good Groupon. I've used it before. And then something called the pandemic hit, so I never got to use the Groupon. I don't even know if that restaurant's still open.
McDonald's.
Yeah, it was McDowell's. It's from it's McDowell's from the Coming to America, right?
Yeah.
And then there's Burger World, which is Beavis and Butthead verse.
Mhm.
Krusty, of course, it's The Simpsons.
There's Annie McDowell's.
Yeah.
I don't think you like their food.
Doesn't like Family Guy have like a not that good of a cliche burger? It's like not Burger World, but it's like
They do, yeah.
But it's
Is
not
it-
as.
I feel like it's like Quahog Burger or something like.
Nah, I don't think it's even that. But they have to. I mean, they have to copy everything the Simpsons did. So
Right.
trying to think of other fictional burger places.
There's Good Burger.
Right, Good Burger.
McBurger Town.
Oh, is that the
Family
Family Guy
Guy.
one? Okay. There's Bang Burgers, which is owned by the porn company Bang Bros.
Is that a real one?
No, I just made that up. I think I gave them a new idea for making money.
Get it with the special sauce.
Bang Burgers does sound like a really like one of those like ostentatious type of burgers. Like it's just
Yeah.
like it's the size of, like it's 12 inches height and it's like you can't get your mouth around it. Those burgers are gross.
They are.
Unga Pachka.
Unga Pachka. Keep it simple, shithead. Just give me a simple burger.
Oh, and I've always said the flatter the patty, the better. Like
Absolutely.
I don't need a 2-inch thick piece of meat.
That's what she said!
Give me that flat patty, Steve.
Yes. Give me that chode.
Yeah, give me that flat patty and flat Selma.
No, yeah. If you're gonna make a crazy burger, go wide, not tall.
Right.
Makes sense.
This makes sense. Yeah. Sometimes the burgers can be just too much when there's I don't know, other crap on it. Like, I like bacon just fine, but I don't need a bacon cheeseburger.
No.
I love fried egg, and I love fried egg on burger, but sometimes it's just too hard to eat.
Yeah, it's too much. It's messy.
Like, a peanut butter bacon burger is good because it's just literally just peanut butter, bacon, cheese, and then the burger meat, and then like a sauce. So there's no other like tomato, onion, pickles. Well, there might be pickles sometimes, but
sometimes, yeah.
I'm a classic burger boy. I mean, give me the lettuce, tomato, ketchup, onion, tomato, mustard on a sesame bun.
Special orders don't upset you. Yeah.
Cheese, don't give me any of the weird toppings like cow liver
or chicken feet
or cum, quats.
That would be weird.
Although, what are weird toppings on burgers?
You have like a burger action figure?
Yeah. It's like your basic burger. When you go to like a diner, you have your Swiss mushroom burger.
Yeah, which is fine sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't scratch the burger itch for me.
No. You always have the barbecue burger, which is like, barbecue sauce, onion ring, that type of thing. There's always a spicy burger that has pepper jack and jalapenos on it.
Yeah, sometimes there's a teriyaki burger, which I am actually kind of a fan of, but
I've never actually had a teriyaki burger. I know the flavor, it never appeals to me. So
yeah, I just really like the combination of cheese and pineapple.
Well, you gotta. What I do like is an ahi burger.
Yeah,
which is like a piece of ahi tuna. Then you put pineapple, and then you have like a sauce on it. It's pretty good. I think I used the recipe from a Food Network. It's really good.
Very nice.
Oh man. Should we continue talking about burgers or The Simpsons?
Well, let's go on to The Simpsons.
Okay.
So Homer runs to a mirror and sees positive smiley faces and heart emojis surrounding him. The people on the internet like what he said. That admiration tickles Homer, and he's happy to say the internet thinks he's smart.
We go to our second act, Steve, and it begins like every second act of The Simpsons. At the zoo, live streaming to the Lost Leonard Faced Look group. Homer checks in with his fellow members. We got Dedrick Tatum, Sideshow Mel, Comic Book Guy, Miss Hoover, and everyone's favorite loser, Gil Gunderson. They all pop up with their avatars to show they are watching. Like how the avatars kind of look like those, almost like the avatars that you have on, like, if you have an iPhone, or not even iPhones, like they're just the basic chat avatars, the Bitmojis, right?
Right.
But they also look like those Japanese like statue, like they're not fungos, like they're called chibis.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so that's fun. They're very cute and adorable.
They are.
So Homer points out how convenient it is that the zoo is replacing Leonard with Pete the Prairie Dog, a far more Instagrammable animal that can fit into baby clothes. I do like prairie dogs because they remind me, they're kind of in the whole like squirrely type of. I remember like going to like Colorado when I was a kid and like seeing prairie dogs for the first time. Like, these are cute. I want them. And of course, they're just a nuisance to people that live in the states,
right?
That prairie dogs are in, but they're cute. I like them. Was there a whole TV show about prairie dogs?
I think so.
Mighty Morphin Prairie Dogs.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
I like the black one.
Anyway, so Homer thinks he may have a motive of why the tortoise is gone. And the virtual symbol of the fellow group members praise Homer for his good idea.
Wow. Yeah, lots of praise. Homer then steps outside of the zoo where he finds a video doorbell on a house across the street. Homer mockingly says, "How convenient," before realizing that the doorbell camera actually is quite convenient.
That's good.
He rings the doorbell and finds his one-time brew buddy, Gary Chalmers. Homer tells Chalmers that Slow Leonard has been kidnapped. Gary is shocked, and wish someone would have taken one of those damn barking seals instead. As the seals taunt Harry, he cries out to them, asking when they sleep, which makes you think that it would be kind of awful to live next to a zoo.
Yeah. I don't think there's many houses like our zoo. There's no houses.
No, because it's like up and yeah.
What animal would you rather be close to, a seals or a croft? Seals and croft.
Yeah.
Summer breeze. Okay, never mind.
Makes me feel fine. If I was next to a seal, I get kissed by a rose. Different seal. So Homer then makes his case and later hosts his team with a delicious paella.
I'm a member of a team of cyber sleuths searching for Leonard. Could we look at your door camera footage?
Of course, and I'd love to join the group, but you guys probably already have a superintendent.
We do now. Marge, fan out those cocktail napkins. Or did you not watch the TikTok I sent you?
Calm down. I've never seen you this excited for a meet and greet.
Yeah, so who's coming to this thing again? Internet randos?
Let me tell you something, son. Every human being is born an internet rando. And then they stay internet randos until they connect over a cause. And then and only then do they achieve their full potential and become... not Random.
Dad, is that really?
Duh, yes, paella. What do you think all this toasted saffron is for?
You never toasted us anything. Not even toast.
I don't need to show off for you, Marge. You already bought the cow.
Homer referencing, of course, that old idiom. Why buy the cow when the milk is free? Or why buy the milk when the cow is free? I forget which.
Why buy the milk when why buy the cow when the milk is free? Why buy the milk when the cow? You got to buy the cow to get the milk.
You got to buy the cow to get the milk.
Hey, because otherwise they're just giving the milk away. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. What else in that clip there you like?
I like early on when Chalmers is just, he wants to be a friend. I thought that was very sweet. He's just like, you can see my footage and can I join too? I thought it was sweet.
I'm enjoying these the newer seasons where there's a lot of like Gary Chalmers, like they've like made him into almost a like third tier character. Like he was always kind of like a 6th tier character,
right?
But now he's like up in the ranks of like almost equivalent to be like a Mo level character.
Yeah, he's gone from like a Duff man up to like a character with depth. I think it's a very astute analogy.
And you keep Duffman down below. I don't need him to be elevated more.
Absolutely agree. I do not need any more Duffman.
It should be Duff person.
That's right. The paella stuff I actually enjoy. There's a lot of talk about paella, but I happen to love paella. I like Homer's paella apron.
I don't know if I've ever had paella.
Oh, really? It's delicious.
What's in it?
So it's made in a big pot. I mean, if you're making smaller ones, you can make in a smaller pot. Yeah. But it's rice, usually a specific rice, which Homer mentions later on.
Okay, rice. Never heard of it.
And then usually shrimp.
Don't know what that is.
Sausage.
Don't know what
Chipotle. Or not Chipotle, but my brain does not work today.
Andouille?
Like, chorizo. You can use
Chorizo.
Chorizo or andouille. Sometimes there's chicken. Sometimes there's clams.
Well, so far it just kind of sounds like a jambalaya.
But it's not a soup. It's a dry dish. Not dry, but it's more of like a rice dish with all these meats and veggies. And the key ingredient is saffron, which is the most expensive spice in the world.
I thought it was Mel B. That was the first Spice Girl that came to my mind. It would probably be more like Ginger, right? Because she was the more of the... Oh, no, Posh. Duh.
Come on, yeah.
Miss David Beckham herself.
That's right.
She waited 18 years in line to see the Queen's body. I don't know if she did, but I know her husband did.
Yeah.
Is it a Spanish dish?
Sure is.
Okay. Leave it to the Spanish to make things tasty.
That's right. It's actually been a while, but
been a while.
Sometimes Laura would make paella here at home, and it was always really good.
All right. Well, I'm gonna make Laura make me a paella.
Alrighty.
And then you can email it to me.
Sounds good.
So Homer has finally found a group of friends who think he's smart, who haven't used a skeptical emoji with a monocle once with him. As his guests arrive, Homer tells Marge to stir the paella slowly and gently, like stirring a baby. Anyway, so his conspirator friends arriving. First, we get Sideshow Mel, Chalmers, and Dedrick Tatum. Dedrick tells Homer that he would have hosted the meetup, but his infinity pool broke, making the edge finite. He's now up to his eyeballs in contractors and physicists.
I love that joke.
That is a very funny joke. My infinity pool broke. I've never been in an affinity pool.
I don't think I have either.
It's just a pool that doesn't have an edge.
Right.
It just has a Bono.
And an Adam Clayton Jr. The other guy, Larry Mullins Jr. That's what it is. Adam Clayton and Larry Mullins Jr.
Look, I only know Bono and the Edge from U2. I only need to know two, and that's the U's I know.
There you go. Hashtag me too. So Gil, Miss Hoover, and Comic Book Guy arrive next, and Homer's pleased that they all look so much like their avatars. Aside from the paella.
Stop saying avatar, Steve. It's giving me flashbacks.
Sorry. Homer's pleased that they look so much like their Na'vi.
No.
Aside from the paella, Homer has a big screen TV for viewing surveillance footage, an evidence board, and of course, yarn for connecting seemingly unrelated photos. But not just any yarn, but genuine fancy Mrs. McKellen's evidence Illuminati strength yarn. 9 out of 10 scientists are afraid of it.
I don't know why you would mention the name of that. That seems inconsequential. Like, definitely not a Chekhov's phaser, right?
No, it's just, they're just making a jokey yarn, I guess.
Weird. Okay. So Sideshow Mel praises Homer's cooking abilities, saying that his mouth could have sworn he was in Barcelona. Trying to say the way Mel said it. Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Barcelona, because you don't say Barcelona, Barcelona, but that's like the pretentious thing to say, right? Barcelona.
Well, I think it's popular in the Basque region of Spain.
Well, so the rest of the group agrees, and as Homer cleans up, he sees his reflection in the paella pan, once again surrounded by supportive, loving, not Avatar, Na'vi. That should still give me flashback. Let's just say animated non-blue cat people.
There you go.
Yeah, that's easier to say.
Yeah.
So as the night goes on, good old Gil Gunderson offers a suggestion, and Homer supports him on it in this clip.
Not to go down a rabbit hole, but this plot could go deep, and the one person we haven't looked at yet is the zoo director.
The zoo director? Gil, isn't that a little desperate?
Hold it. There's one thing you need to know about this paella party. There are no bad ideas. Nothing said here is stupid.
Oh, then I want to say I agree with Gil about the zoo director. We should board it.
Has anybody dug through the tortoise scat yet? Maybe he was being used as a drug mule. Board it.
Perhaps Leonard's seed was required by scientists who want to breed slower horses.
Board it. How about that?
The yarn knows something we're still figuring out.
We're gonna find this turtle, but damn it, we found love along the way.
Oh, what if the turtle was taken by a billionaire to transfuse his blood for longevity?
Usually they talk about the beginning of the clips, but let's just go straight to that end clip there.
Yeah.
Like when comic book guy holds up the sign, that looks like Jeff Bezos, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I thought.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
Like just as a good joke. But it would have been funnier. I mean, I like the Jeff Bezos joke, but it would have been kind of funny if it was Mr. Burns instead.
Yeah, that would be.
Oh, that would have been a fun character. I was just trying to think. I was going to ask you, like, what other characters do you think could belong in this conspiracy group? Like, Mr. Burns would have been a fun addition.
Yeah, or maybe even Smithers.
No. I disagree with it. I think Smithers is one of the only few...
Like, he's too sane to do it?
One of the few straight characters on the show. I mean, when I mean straight, like, the no nonsense, like, not a goofy person. Like, doesn't have a thing that makes them dumb or weird. Like Seinfeld, for instance. Seinfeld was the straight man character. Like, right, yeah. The jokes are
around him, not at
around him. Exactly.
Yeah. This, for instance, is an interesting choice.
Yeah, that would have been fun just to see him out of his element, like without Smithers there. Let's see, who else would be in a good one? Like I'm surprised they didn't have what's his name? The Army surplus store owner. The guy with arm. What's his name?
Herman,
yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I think the issue with Herman, though, is, and this, I was going to save this, but the conspiracy theories that they're in are kind of more of the fun side of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Not the scary side. And so I think Herman might muddy that a little bit.
They do reference some of the scary, like QAnon, a couple times in this episode, but yeah.
Yeah. I do love some of the visuals, like the turtle with the cocaine in his mouth is kind of funny. And Gary's talking about him being a drug mule.
Every time I hear them say the word turtle, I think of the character Turtle from Entourage. Which, oddly enough, I've never seen an episode of Entourage, but I know the references. So
yeah, me too.
It was one of those, like, by proxy, like, it was so talked about in pop culture. Like Avatar, for instance, like, I saw it once, but I know all the references people make to Avatar. You know, the Na'vi, like,
right,
which is one of those pop culture colloquialisms that, like, yeah, I know Ari was the guy, and
I know that they made an Aquaman movie.
The Aquaman movie was the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to see douchebag show.
No.
Steve,
that's what it seemed. It just seemed a bunch of douchebags.
Let's promise here that if we ever do a Patreon, we're never going to talk about Entourage.
I vow on this day of our Lord that I will never talk about Entourage on a Patreon podcast.
That would be actually funny, like,
it would be actually
podcast. It's called "We Will Never Talk About Entourage." That, like, how we do the podcast with, like, the episode title. We'll put it on in the background while we do the podcast. So technically we're watching it or have seen it, but we're not going to talk about it.
Right, but it's on.
Yeah, one of the worst inside joke type podcasts ever, right?
Next to this one.
But we're the creators of the worst podcast ever, so
that's right.
Yeah, take that, Joe Rogan.
Take that, office ladies.
I know there are mortal enemies, the office ladies, but I just happened to flip through the podcast channels, like you do, you just flip through. And I caught, one of their episodes, and they were talking about penises, and I was very offended. They were talking about this penis museum in Iceland. I'm like, come on, office ladies, don't be so crass and blue on this podcast. You're the office ladies.
Yeah, come on. And first of all, excuse me, we already talked about Iceland when Carl had discovered his ancestral home.
Yeah.
So way to copy us. But yeah, you don't need to work blue. Come on, Angela.
Office. We're looking at you, Jenna Fisher. Hey, look, you may have got Craig Robinson on your podcast last week, but this podcast always has a Craig.
Yeah, and you may have gotten, maybe you haven't gotten Steve Carell, but we've got a Steve here every week.
Yeah. And you know what? Speaking of Craig Robinson, I've eaten more Pizza Hut than you ever will. All right, enough about our arch nemesis, the office ladies.
So as the Lost Leonard group continues to pin their ideas to the board, Lisa asks Marge if they're crossing into the conspiracy theory zone. Marge doesn't care as long as Homer keeps with a heavy hand of that saffron. Marge tells her children that these people are finally taking Homer seriously, and he's not used to that. She then points out that Homer's always telling Homer that his ideas are dumb, and Lisa is always proving it. Marge feels that Homer deserves the chance to be a big fish in a small, weird pond.
I do like that, the kind of inside joke of Marge, saying that Homer's ideas are dumb and Lisa's the one who has to prove it. Yeah, that's pretty much like every episode of The Simpsons. It was great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Marge tells Bart, which brings back to the point that we've had, or not we've had, but that people bring up was Marge and Lisa are the only sane people, and they understand that they just have to live in this world. It's almost they're in purgatory right now. Maybe oh shit, that's what it is. Lisa and Marge are in purgatory. They have to live this life with two dumb guys. Maybe. Which was the original name of this podcast, Two Dumb Guys.
Right.
Anyway, so Marge tells Bart and Lisa that Homer's newfound interest is harmless enough, and Homer declares that the group is going to protest in front of the zoo director's house. Sideshow Mel offers to bring milk in case they are tear-gassed. Marge lets out a nervous laugh, and then we're going to go to one of my favorite clips here. Also, don't remember, if you're going to protest, make sure you don't bring your cell phone. Write your information, like your phone number and another contact, on your arm with a Sharpie. The milk is good. Have a face mask. Goggles would be nice too. Make sure you don't have any loose clothing that could be picked upon or pulled on. And strap yourself with some hot dogs. So people think they're dynamite, but they're really hot dogs, because you might get hungry and you need a snack.
You need a little snack, yeah.
And bring water. Water's fine.
Always bring water everywhere you go.
And a trumpet.
Yeah, in case somebody falls down.
Right.
You go, wah, wah.
And just in case it's on a boat, a violin, so you play the Titanic, Anyways, Steve, can play one of my favorite clips instead of me talking? Okay. Thanks for giving me permission to stop talking.
We can't be more emphatic. We think Leonard's in your attic.
Please stop these protests. Why would I kidnap an animal? That's what a zoo is. A bunch of kidnapped animals.
It's the cops! If you're gonna pepper spray me, do it fast. I don't have much phone battery left.
Calm down. I'm not here as Police Chief Wiggum. I'm here as Clancy Wiggum, a simple civilian, hungry for turtle justice. Justice you'll never get from a cold, faceless police department. Uh-oh, body camera's on. Don't worry, you can erase it with a paperclip. They taught us how.
I need to say something to a woman I'm very much in love with. Lizzie, before this group started, I was in a shell of my own making.
Oh, my God.
So I'm poking my head out and asking in front of our new best friends, will you make me the happiest man on this flat earth?
Yes. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life taping together shredded documents with you.
I'm fine with this group being conspiracy theories, but I can't believe Gil's a flat earther, and so is Miss Hoover.
I know.
Yeah, the flat earthers ones. Offense if you are a flat earther, because
that's fine.
Stop being dumb. Why are you so dumb? Great. Now we just lost all the listeners.
Yeah.
The whole flat earthers.
Big flat earther contingency here. But yeah, it's stupid. It's like the kid in school who would always you only have 8 fingers because a thumb's not a finger. It's like some pedantic asshole who's wrong.
Yeah. Steve, I have a new shirt. We'll have an Annoyed Grunt Boy shirt. The podcast for flat earthers.
I like it.
All right. Again, said it before.
Yep.
Travis McNeil as the zookeeper. The best quote in that one of why would she kidnap a turtle? A zoo is for kidnapped animals. It was just just that
For
voice that she
exasperation,
does.
yeah.
Is so good. It's the best thing ever. And
It really is.
And I've had like a sandwich,
Yeah.
which is like the second best thing ever.
Sandwiches are good. Yeah, and well, I mean, also kind of a big thing happened there in that clip too.
Let's see here.
The harsh political commentary about Wiggum.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the love birds, but yeah,
we'll get there in a sec.
So is that really how police can disable body cam is with a paper
Probably.
clip? Yeah, that sounds something. Why don't you ask your family that is cops?
I'm good.
I'd rather have my family not be cops, but be employees at Cops, the dairy restaurant or the ice cream store that's in states that's not ours. Cops.
Yeah, sounds great.
Those are the cops I like. Ice cream vendors.
Yeah, it's not donut eaters, but ice cream vendors.
Always got the camera in front of the cops facing. This is the culture of protesting and everything today.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a good social commentary without being like too over the top with it. Like they were just like, this is a situation, and not taking like too much of a side or anything. I'm all for body cams.
Yeah. And like the local election, where there's like 5 people running for sheriff, I just find the one that like says like he's for, or that they're for body cams. Like that's what I'm voting for.
Yeah. But
ACAB. Am I right, folks?
Indeed. Not a political podcast, but really ACAB.
Although, at this point they're hiring anybody. I might just look into becoming a cop.
I don't know. I heard this one guy joined the police academy and he had a hell of a time.
Wait. Check this out, Steve. I think I could get into the police academy. Do you want to hear my impersonation of a chainsaw? All right, there's that. Do you want to hear me try to turn on a motorcycle?
Sure.
All right, Steve, here's me turning on my lawnmower.
What if you could do like the sound of a dog barking you as you run away?
Okay. Arf, 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 arf. Is that pretty good?
It's pretty good, yeah.
Watch this. I'm a robot.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm the second coming of Michael Winslow, everyone.
We've been waiting.
Even though we have a perfectly good Michael Winslow still.
That's right.
Anyway, so Steve and I are gonna become cops soon.
Sure.
Look, I have an expiration date, and it's probably a heart attack. I might as well just like die as a policeman, right?
I mean,
get those benefits for my funeral.
Better to die being a policeman than by dying from a policeman, I always say.
Yeah, I don't want to die on the wrong side of justice.
Like Batman.
Batman would die on the right side of justice, you idiot.
I don't know. He's kind of a cop himself. Anyway, let's talk about not of hate and police, but of love and nerds.
You're right. Batman is kind of he beats up like criminals. Like
he's a billionaire who beats up poor people. He's a dick.
Oh, he really is. Like the Joker's crazy and all, and the Riddler's kind of annoying. But like some guys are like just stealing some diamonds because they got to feed like their family is probably the motive, and then Batman just comes in and like breaks their fucking face.
Yeah,
and like all the people like in the movies, like they're just working for the bad guy because again they need money, and Batman just kicks the shit out.
Right, Gotham is a desperately the economic disparity in Gotham is horrible because there's a lot of billionaires and a lot of poor people, but there's no middle class.
Steve, I don't know if I run DC Comics, but I'm pretty sure I don't. But if I did, I'm hiring you to write a Batman series that reflects on that kind of ideology.
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
And be like maybe Dick Grayson is the reason tells Batman you know what, you're kind of fucked up. That's why it was off a real tangent here. Like Robin, aka Dick Grayson, now Nightwing, has always been my favorite of one of my favorite comic book characters because he came from that same situation with lost his parents. His parents were murdered, but he's also as a character, and especially from the comics, when he was a kid, he would hang out with Superman sometimes. Bruce is like, I can go on a date. Clark, can you babysit Robin for me? And he gets this side from Superman, the humanity from this alien. And so that's why Dick Grayson is one of the best characters, because he's kind of an amalgamation of ideals from both. And is kind of about in the current comic run, man, going off tangent, he inherited a lot of money and he gave all of his millions away to the community. So because Dick Grayson doesn't want to be a rich douchebag like Bruce Wayne.
So I like that.
So yeah, well, in this current run, Alfred died and left him couple $1 million, and then I think Alfred's probably back from the dead. I don't know. Comic characters don't die, but yeah.
Yeah.
So Nightwing, cool. Bruce Wayne's a dick. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I always had an idea for a comic book, and I never knew what world to put it in. And I think this is it, because I always wanted like a young crime fighting team, and one seems more about humanity and like fixing like the inherent societal problems instead of just beating up thugs. Well, the other one is kind of more affluent, and they struggle with like the social constructs of like what they deal with from their own perspectives.
Right.
But if you put that in Gotham, that would work really well and make Batman almost like an antagonist. Anyway.
Yeah, and I think kind of like current like Bruce Wayne maybe in the comic book too is kind of a philanthropist, but that's the thing. But yeah, Batman's just a fucked up character in general. It's like the people that do you think about it, the people that do idolize Batman is almost as bad as the people that, but they idolize Batman for the wrong reason. The same
like
people
the Punisher, yeah.
Exactly. I was going to say they idolize Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, for the wrong reason. Whereas like the Punisher in general is a better character than Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, because they actually explore his trauma.
Yeah.
And they express how it is the cause of it.
Right. Yeah, you're not really going to see. Yeah, the Punisher punishes the wicked. That's the whole point. Like,
right.
He's not going to punish a dude that, his kids are starving and steals a loaf of bread type of thing.
Right.
But I mean, maybe there's a comic out there.
I can see it.
Yeah. Stanley's like, you know what I think? People that steal bread for their family are fucking douchebags. Let's have the Punisher kill him. Sorry, that's my bad Stanley impersonation.
I think he'll allow it.
Oh, man, I could have met Stan Lee on Friday if I just stayed dead. Missed opportunities.
Man, yeah.
He was probably hanging with like Mark Twain, and they were trying to come up with like the great Heaven novel or something.
Excelsior, stop using the N-word.
And then Stanley's like, never, Mark.
Please call me Samuel.
All right, well, some fun things from that clip. Some protest signs. Charmos had what the shell happened.
Hoover has what did Zoo know and when did Zoo know it?
Dedrick Tatum had don't slowly tread on me.
And Comic Book Guy had is there a bathroom I can use?
Oh, you know who'd be great for this group?
Who's that?
The man who really wants to know those turtles are at. Shredder.
Oh boy, yes.
Because he just wants to dine on tortoise soup.
Exactly, just like the cutscene from the video game says.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be a great conspiracy theorist because he has a big brain named Krang. Yeah. But we should just talk about the big thing that happened, really. And Gil just proposed to Miss Hoover.
Hey, good job, Gil.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Lizzie?
That's right, Lizzie Hoover. You know why they call her Miss Hoover? She likes to vacuum.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go back to The Simpsons. Steve, later that day, Marge deeply scrubs the paella pan while Homer talks about planning Gil and Lizzie's wedding while also learning to sweep from spyware and pick locks. I don't know who I'm more upset for, Homer or Marge. So I don't know. I actually like to cook and clean at the same time. And I know there's couples out there that like one does the cooking and one does the cleaning, which is perfectly acceptable too. So regardless, if there's stuff stuck on it, just soak it a little bit, right, guys?
Right, exactly.
So Homer's kind of a dick, like just leaving it out dry, and then Marge probably's offered to clean it, but also I think Homer would have no intentions of cleaning the dishes.
No, I mean, you could give him credit and say maybe that he left it to soak and she's still scrubbing, but I think no. I think it's a dick move, and he probably left it on the counter, not even in the sink.
Yeah, I think I'm actually a person that like if I'm making a meal, I also want to clean it up because I don't feel like I'm doing something for someone that like Well, it's like I did this, so you owe me something, which I don't feel like that way at all. So usually again, I see if it's fine if it's both ways, or if you just like clean together, that's fine too. But like I'm more of the type of like, you know what, I don't need anything from this. I'm the one who created this mess. I want to clean it up. Yeah,
I guess Laura and I don't really think about it because we both try to clean as we go.
Yep, I always say clean as you go.
And then once we're done, like usually we'll like watch TV in front of watch TV while we eat. And then once we're done, like the one of us will get up and grab the dishes.
Right.
And then just go in the kitchen and clean it. I don't even think about who does it. Like if I notice that Laura cooked, I'll try and do the dishes, but sometimes she'll beat me to it and it's fine.
And sometimes she'll just plain to beat you.
Yeah, I mean, I deserve it.
Yeah, because you're a white cis male in America.
Which isn't a good thing to be.
No, it really isn't. I'm sure hopes Homer says something about that later.
Yeah.
All right. Well, So Homer is talking about planning Gil and Lizzie's. I guess we're going to call Miss Hoover Lizzie from now on, right?
I guess so.
Their wedding, while also learning to sweep for spyware and pick locks. This explains why all the doorknobs are in a basket. Marge then asks if the ideas of Homer's cabal are perhaps getting too far out of the box. Homer thanks his wife, saying styrofoam peanuts and lies live in boxes, and he's tired of being fed both. I can see Homer like, styrofoam peanuts, what are these? And keeps eating them even though it's gross.
Yeah, better than circus peanuts.
That's true. See, your disgust towards eating like paper type products people put in your mouth. How's styrofoam? If I put a piece of styrofoam,
horrible. I don't like to touch styrofoam.
I mean, you shouldn't because it's bad for the environment.
Right, exactly. But it's also just very nauseating to feel like those little like the white pieces that fall apart and then get stuck to like your arm hair or just like anything you're wearing. It's just awful. I hate styrofoam.
Yeah.
I might be a crazy person.
No, styrofoam is the worst. I mean, I guess racism's pretty bad.
Yeah,
but again, styrofoam is
what
worse.
Is styrofoam? White.
Exactly. That's why you should hate white people, because it looks like styrofoam.
There you go.
So the rest of the family notices something is behind Homer because he's doing a monologue here in this clip.
The beauty of this group is that we always support each other. There isn't one theory about Leonard that's right. They're all right. He could be anywhere.
Like the kitchen.
Exactly.
No, he's literally in the kitchen.
Homer, did you kidnap Leonard?
No, I didn't commit the crime. I did something much worse. I solved it.
Why the hell is Slow Leonard in our house?
Do I have to tell you? Can't we just accept this as the new normal?
There's a 500-pound tortoise chewing on my kitchen table. It's not normal.
Again, like in that last part of the clip of hearing Marge saying hell. Like,
yeah, I know.
Or getting mad, like using expletives. I mean, as a kid, hell was a bad thing to say.
Right, of course. And it is weird to hear hell coming out of her mouth.
Yeah. But Homer solved the case, Steve, of the tortoise.
I know. It's incredible. In that clip also, I just really like the art direction. Just the way that like the camera is framed to Homer's back and we see the family kind of looking around him. I thought it was really well done. And also Maggie dropping the Cheerios. I don't know why the perspective was really good on that.
And the baby eating Cheerios we've talked about before.
Of course.
The grossness of Cheerios because of babies.
That's right. But yeah, so Homer found Leonard and he explains what happens. After the protest, he went back to the tortoise enclosure for one last search for clues. He drops one of his dingo's donut holes with the slogan, "A dingo stole your donut hole," and he chases after it. The pastry ball rolls down a hill, and Homer follows close behind, tripping down the hill as well, which reminded me of the beginning of last season when the Fargo episode, he fell down a hill too, chasing food. He then sees a rabbit go into the hole. He then narrates his logic saying, "A donut hole always returns to its mother, a larger hole." Homer reaches into the hole and grabs the pink frosted treat, but the familiar tortoise grabs it first. Leonard wasn't kidnapped. He was there all along. Lisa sums it up nicely in this clip.
Wait, so after following all those crazy leads, you found Leonard by going down an actual rabbit hole?
Yeah, so?
Don't you see the irony?
Oh, now I don't get it. Anyway, guys, you'll never believe it, but I found...
Just hold that thought. I made us all evidence collection fanny packs, which we'll all wear on the pedal bus pub crawl.
Are you coming, Homer? There's a guac trough in the middle.
If I told him I found him, the group would end. How could I let that happen? Those friendless weirdos have become my best weird friends. They're the only people who don't say Einstein after great idea or Sherlock after...
Oh, you have to tell them the truth.
Well, the truth is different these days. It's more of a hunch you're willing to die for.
So to all those kids out there that don't understand when Homer said, and Sherlock after, and then Marge cuts him off,
you
say, no shit, Sherlock. Oh, man, I used to swear.
Oh, boy.
Like, it'd be like, Steve, we're going to make an example, do an example for the kids. Like,
okay.
Trump won the election. It was stolen.
No shit, Sherlock.
January 6th was a protest in peace. We weren't there to disrupt the American process.
That's right, Einstein.
Trump's going to be reinstated after this week's episode.
You betcha. Smart guy.
There's not flat, guys. It's actually flatter.
Like a pancake.
Yeah.
That's right, Kazmanov. So my dad opted for
My dad.
Dick Tracy,
No shit, Dick Tracy.
not Sherlock. And like it just sounds smoother to say Sherlock. No shit, Sherlock.
No fast car, Dick Tracy Chapman. Oh boy.
Oh boy. The Lisa's comment about it being an actual rabbit hole was great.
I do like that. Like, wait, you went down a little rabbit hole. That was very fun.
And I also like Homer saying it's the truth nowadays is tough because it's more of a hunch that you are willing to die for. Because the truth is not absolute.
No.
Yeah.
Well, Marge is upset though, Steve. Homer tells her that Gil and Miss Hoover are getting married the following day at the Chemtrail Island, but they're going to wear matching head shields so that the Bluetooth can't steal winning lottery numbers from their brains. Marge feels that now that Homer has solved the mystery, his confederacy of nutsos has gone too far. She then says something that really cuts to Homer to his core here in this clip.
You're all acting dumb.
Dumb? You think I'm dumb, Marge? Just like everyone at the library and all the other smarty pants in this town? Well, you can't shame me into turning my back on my people. I'm going to that conspiracy-themed wedding. And you're no longer my +1, which is your loss because I'm at a great table, equidistant from the bar and the bathroom.
Ooh, wow. Good place to be.
Yeah. I remember we went to see a concert in the zoo, which is funny.
Oh, yeah.
And it was John Hyatt. It's like an amphitheater lawn seating, but we opted to sit in the bleachers because it was right next to the bathroom and next to the beer vendor, so we had like the best seats.
It was a good show.
I mean, we weren't close. Like it was just nice. Like we could piss and drink like so close, and like there was no one else in the bleachers. The weather was great.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was
It
a good
fun.
time.
It was very fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Zoo concert. I missed those. I gotta do them next year. I totally forgot this summer.
Yeah.
Like COVID, you forget like some things you do all the time, like,
Right.
annually, and going to
Yeah.
any shows at the zoo is always fun.
Always a good time. I know that zoos can be problematic, but I feel like our local zoo does good things and they care about the animals and they also have a good spot.
Yeah, those penguins can really wail on those drums though.
It's true.
And,
So
and it's great because the elephants, they already have their trunks make great noises.
yeah, they're like a ska band.
Yeah.
And the one who sweeps up the poop is always having to pick it up. So as Chalmers sings the parody of a Sam Cooke classic, The Group
What
Takes a
classic is
Ferry.
that?
Don't know much about history.
You know, I was just thinking about Sam Cooke the other day.
Yeah.
If Sam Cooke, I think he would have gone. He's still kind of gone down as like one like great like R&B soul singer, right? But like so many hits and so many like songs that are Sam Cooke songs. Like "Twisting the Night Away" or it's like Cupid, of course. But like him dying at age 33, like could you imagine like more years?
Oh yeah.
Like how much more influential. I mean, if you think about it, like any musician too, this is like not you probably could surpass the Beatles, Steve.
That's right.
Or Little Richard.
It's interesting how his career would
Is
go.
Little Richard
because
still alive, or did he finally die?
I think he's still alive.
Little Richard?
Maybe he's dead.
Maybe he's due. Yeah, I never saw him on guest appear on Fuller House. So I think he died in like 2020. 2020.
2020.
Was it
Okay,
COVID?
so maybe, yeah.
Little Richard, aka minuscule penis.
That's right. Tutte, frutte.
What were we saying about Sam Cooke? Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, like, it'd be interesting because, in the 70s, he'd get a little trippy, probably. And then I feel like in the 80s, he would sound really bad and maybe find Christ a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he did have a very religious side, too.
But I mean, who didn't back then,
Right. But then in the 90s, he would have like an R&B, like, comeback and it'd be like kind of smooth and sexy. And then I would like to think that in the 90s, as he got older, he'd go really experimental and do like acid jazz, even though it's the early 2000s. Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun. I would like to see that arc of his career.
It was like his murder was just it was sad and tragic, but like if the sad thing is like if he was a white artist, like I think America would have reacted more.
Oh yeah, he'd
like
have a
the death of Sam
biopic
Cooke.
and like it'd be a whole thing.
Has there not been there has had to have been a Sam Cooke biopic? I don't know. It just seems something like it'd be an interesting story to watch him. Yeah. Well, yeah, Steve, we're not the ones to tell the Sam Cooke story. We're here to tell the Simpsons stories.
That's right. So as Chalmers sings that parody of a Sam Cooke classic, the group takes a ferry where one can sit in a car on a boat. They arrive at the Chemtrail Island where Chief Wiggum walks Miss Hoover down the aisle. He then wraps some of that yarn around her hands of the bride and groom, and the Facelook group all laugh. Lizzie and Gail exchange jewel-encrusted rings that are shaped like tortoises as Homer officiates their vows. The newlyweds kiss, and the crowd cheers. Comic book guy toasts the couple, saying that in uncovering a turtle-stealing plot, they also uncovered an undying love. Deirdre Tatum has a toast as well, which causes Homer to grow a little nervous.
To us bringing to justice the zoo director who knows where that turtle is. Who's got ideas? Remember, this is a safe space for all dangerous and violent plans.
Easy. We dump a swarm of murder hornets down her chimney.
Board it!
I can stuff a couple of bricks of cocaine in her real well.
Board it!
Let's cut the brake lines on her brand new Prius.
Board!
No, don't board it. Don't board any of it.
What?
Why?
Because the zoo director didn't do anything wrong, and punishing an innocent zoo director is a bad idea.
But you said there were no bad ideas.
I was wrong. Most ideas are bad. It's okay to think them, just don't act on them.
Apostasy!
He's not an us anymore. He's a them. Enough is enough.
I think we have is there like a book out there, like a coffee table book about like Homer quotes, like how they are poignant type of quotes to like live by, like Homerisms?
Yeah.
I think a new one was birthed here with this one.
Absolutely.
Most ideas are bad. It's okay to think them, just don't act on them.
I mean, that's a lesson we all should learn, right?
Yeah, totally. It's deep advice, and yeah, just think before you act.
Yeah. All right, Steve, I have some recording clip of us from a couple years ago. Let's see if we preach what we say.
Okay.
Hey, Steve, I have a great idea. Let's do a podcast about The Simpsons, but from seasons 11 and beyond. And we won't talk about the classics that everyone wants to talk about.
Huh. That seems like a bad idea.
Just do it. You don't have a job. You have nothing better to do.
Okay, let's do it. I'm game.
Oh, I guess I should have listened to you. Sorry.
That's fine. Live and learn.
I tried to die because
191
podcast. I was so close to being out.
Pulled you back in.
Yeah, that's what happened. It was like I was about to die, and I saw my family members and having like, but you got to keep doing the podcast. Go back to that planet. Fine. In reality, though, when I was out, actually it was like really bright red. I saw Richard Nixon was there telling me to come hang out with him.
Oh, no.
Hitler, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Genghis Khan, Charles Manson, Jeffrey Dahmer, Walt Disney, Jim Varney.
Oh, no.
Bob Ross.
Yeah.
Eddie White.
Mm-hmm.
Betsy Ross. Ross Geller. Garrison Keillor.
Yeah.
Fifish Finkel. Ted Nugent. And Gore Vidal all told me to go hang out with them in the afterlife.
Nice. Ted Nugent is a surprise.
He goes between both worlds.
Just Wango Tangos in between the two.
Yeah. Oh, but that clip. Marge is pissed, right?
Yeah. She's upset.
She's very upset because she, reveals that they have Slow Leonard and that he wasn't kidnapped, but she points to the real living turtle beside her. And a comic book guy says the most obvious explanation is the one before their eyes. The group all agrees, and Homer lets out a sigh of relief. And a comic book guy then suggests that the tortoise in front of them is not Slow Leonard, but a robot. I love how, like, in that clip too, like when Marge is enough, is this like the same people of this country or world where the people overthink or, conspiracy theorists of the silliest of things and ideas,
right?
That Marge is like the baseline voice of reason,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do you just can't reason with unreasonable people, right?
Right. And also it speaks to that thing about you're not one of us anymore. You're one of them.
Yeah.
Because it's either with us or against us. So there's no room for conversation.
I mean, what about like some of the conspiracy theories that like, I just don't like the JFK moon landing one. Like, I just don't want to deal sure. Believe what you want to believe,
Yeah.
It's the ones like I ever mentioned, like flat earthers. I'm like, that's just dumb.
Yeah.
But the rest of the conspiracies, I think I kind of side with. So I don't think JFK landed on the moon and was killed by Lawrence Welk.
You think Glenn Miller was behind it?
Wait, who's the one who shot the sheriff? That's Steve Miller. No,
I think it was Eric. Well,
Eric Clapton, the Yardbirds.
Yeah, I think it was Bob Marley first, but
Bob
we'll blame Eric Clapton because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, Eric Clapton had John Lennon killed. Did you know that, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, let's come up with our own conspiracy theories. This is great. Eric Clapton had John Lennon killed because John Lennon was about peace and love.
Mm-hmm.
Even though himself, he was very much of a scumbag variety.
It's true.
Horrible father. I think he was a racist himself.
Yes, he was.
So Eric Clapton, who is a racist himself, was pissed that John Lennon was spewing like peace and love, even though that's Ringo's thing now.
Right. But also, Eric Clapton was pissed because
George Harrison fucked his wife.
Well, there's that. And also, John Lennon and Eric Clapton had a hand race, and John Lennon won because, as everyone knows, Eric Clapton has a slow hand.
Can we just finish this episode, please?
Alrighty. Sideshow Mel pipes in to say that the robot was built by Homeland Security to scan their tongues to see whom they've kissed. The group looks to prove their theory by scanning the shelled animal with their robot detectors. Homer explains that Leonard is the real deal and that the robot detectors they have are made of hairdryers and old video games. Homer then discusses the bigger issue at hand.
Look, we had a great ride together. Paintball and Pinot Noir weekend, the duck boat tour of Shelbyville, storming City Hall. It felt so good to be part of a community where we're all respected and supported, but we can't pull our heads inside our shells and hide from the very real truth. Our lost turtle has been found.
Cannot believe I'm saying this. It's not a robot.
Dr. J, Super Dunk.
But what happens to all of us when we don't have anything to solve?
Nothing has to change. We have more in common than just the tortoise, don't we?
We must, right?
Nuts.
Oh, great. Now I have to get this lasered off.
I love being in this group, but it's over. And now I and the rest of us have to go back to a world where everyone thinks we're dumb.
Welcome to our world, Homer.
That's right.
I love Sideshow Mel's full body tat.
Yeah, it's very intricate. All the heads of all the members of the group.
Yeah. Geez, if only we did a podcast where he said, what would we get tattooed? Finally, something in this episode.
Right, except for we don't do that anymore.
No, we have to gift. Can you gift a tattoo?
And I
guess we'll find out, right?
Could, yeah.
Knock the person out. Take them to the tattoo parlor.
Mm-hmm.
I think this episode, I'm not going to say it's a conspiracy, but I think this episode was talking to us. It's weird.
Interesting.
I think they know we're watching. There's so many clues. They put a tattoo in there. Come on.
Yeah, it's true.
There's a lot of weird conspiracy type theories, and I think we bring that up in this spot. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a big Paella guy.
Did they say the name Steve in it?
Probably. It's implied.
Yeah, probably said my name. I don't remember, but I'm sure they do. Sam Cooke, they do a parody of the Sam Cooke song, and they know we like to cook.
That's true.
Right. Okay. Oh, turtles. We've mentioned the turtles before, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on this podcast.
It's true. Yeah.
I mentioned we like Chalmers, and he's kind of a character in this.
Mm-hmm. We talked about burgers for a seemingly very long time, and that's they made us do that.
Oh, we always talk about hooking characters up, and they do that in this episode.
It's true.
Well, yes. I think we're onto something. All right. Well, Steve, back to the Simpsons. We know you're listening there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. All right. So Homer, Marge, and Leonard sadly walk away, but Homer quickly runs back to his friends and suggests they find a new mystery that only they could solve. Where does calamari come from? So back in the living room of The Simpsons, Homer has a sign on the board suggesting possible origins of calamari. We've got squid,
pork,
soy,
rubber,
bat,
pasta,
or alien.
Comic book guy suggests there's no such thing as squid, an idea no less plausible than the real life internet theory that birds are not real.
Okay, real quick, the person that created the birds aren't real, he legit came up with that just because he wanted to prove a point that anything you put on the internet, people will believe in.
Right.
It was all hoax.
But people still...
And they still, even though he's like flat out said, I created this is a joke, it's not real, but still people believe it is real.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah, so comic book guy thinks that squid aren't real. He then takes a bite of calamari saying, that's good squid. But then Gil shares his own idea.
I heard it's pig butt, but the Shadow Pig Butt Council spends billions quashing those rumors.
Board it.
As long as we're blowing each other's minds, I've heard there's a cartoon show that can predict the future. Maybe we can watch it and find out what's going to happen.
So I've always heard that rumor too, that calamari was pig anus.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is, I don't care. Fucking, I love calamari. Give me that pig anus.
You would think that millennials would be more into it.
Yeah. Do you like a calamari?
I do like a calamari.
There's a restaurant in downtown Vancouver that I frequent, and their best like app dish is their fried calamari. And like they had the gall to like on their menu even say like the best calamari in the Pacific Northwest or some shit like that, right?
A bold statement.
It's a very fucking bold statement. And when I had it, I was like, this is the best fucking calamari I've ever had. And some sushi places like do some pretty good calamari. Like I love calamari.
Calamari is really good.
That's one of the few like I've had. I love the squid.
You put it in writing, in ink even.
Although the octopus, wait, is calamari squid or octopus?
I think it's known to be squid.
Squid, right? And octopuses are very intelligent, right?
Yes, they pick football games and they
like they're smarter than like us, right?
Yeah, some people feel that they could be.
Isn't there also a theory that they're like extraterrestrial, they're aliens actually monitoring humanity?
I've heard that, yeah.
Or did I just make that up?
No, I think I've heard that before, that they're from another planet.
Yeah. Steve, are we all from another planet? Because like when the asteroid hit, there was molecules and bullshit science thing.
Yeah.
Earth is formed and
Starbucks had to tell Adama.
No, Starbucks. Oh yeah, the Battlestar, not the
not the coffee place.
Not the coffee place. Okay.
Although Starbucks is their mascot is a mermaid. Mermaids hang out with squids. So yeah.
See, we're at the finish line of this episode. Let's just wrap it up. How about that?
Alrighty.
Then we see the latest issue of the Springfield Shopper, which offers the headline Disney Returns Fox. It's good to feel clean again. Homer writes the words TV show on a 3x5 card, and Marge suggests he board it. Oh, I forgot to bring that up too. They make the inside joke of when Homer's like, there's a cartoon that predicts the future. Of course, they're referencing the popular Simpsons predicted it type of thing. I think even the past few weeks, there was a scene where a tombstone of the Queen dying in the year 2022, and the Simpsons predicted it, right?
There was that, and also a conservative group said that the world was going to end because the Simpsons predicted it, because of an episode that we reviewed not too long ago, the Homer Goes to Prep School, because that originally aired on 9/24.
Right.
And so a conspiracy group said that the world was going to end because the Simpsons predicted it on September 24th of this year, which did not happen.
But for me, that could have been the end of the world because I
That's
died
true.
the day before. So I could have, like, I was in the evening of the 23rd of Friday. So I could have been well into the morning of the 24th. And technically, if it was Eastern Standard Time, I would have been dead on the 24th.
That's right.
The world could have ended. And I do a Simpsons podcast. So maybe the Simpsons almost predicted it.
Whoa.
Yeah. Very deep. So the group continue their meeting, and Bart points out that no matter how lame and crazy people are, they always want to hang out with other crazy lamos. Lisa then wonders who would benefit from all this conspiracy theory talk. And then we zoom into a ball of yarn. It has a tiny camera filming the group. And on the other side, a shadowy boardroom of McKellen's International. Yeah. A spokesperson says their sales are through the roof. They can't make enough yarn, index cards, and ivermectin. They're in a golden age. Keep, and then the CEO says, keep defunding schools, America. And we get some white credits there. That means, of course, there's going to be an after credits, and we get a Homer doing a TikTok. So let's see that real quick, or hear it actually.
Okay, everybody, today we're making one of my favorite dishes, conspiracy meeting paella. It's a great dish for blowing the lid off any diabolical plot the mainstream media won't cover. CIA murders in your town, UFO stuff, and it even pairs well with a New World Order scenario. Now, this is a dish where the freshness of the ingredients really matters. Like this chorizo, made from homeschooled pigs. If you're a lizard person watching this, instead of using chicken, feel free to go with whatever insect or small mammal goes well with cauliflower rice. Well, that's all you need to know. Let me know in the comments how it turned out and what shape you think the sun is.
You know what's funny is, like, I think we've brought it up before that, like, you know, they make what's the Facebook parodies called Face Space?
Face Look,
but they literally just say TikTok. Like, you think they like just make it simpler and be like Talk Tick,
right? Yeah,
or Dick Doc.
That's a very different website.
Also owned by Groupon.
Yeah.
I've only frequented TikTok a couple times to see what's going on, and the videos I've paused on and then I've closed it and then come back. It's always people showing their RVs or tiny houses, and then like a cooking one like this, or just people like cleaning out bait. Like, we found this mid-century home as it was, and like, let's look inside. But it's that weird like robot lady voice.
Yeah, I hate the robot lady voice.
So
I have one too that another robot voice that sounds just like Jason Mantzoukas. It's really weird.
Oh, weird! I haven't come across that one yet. I mean, I might have, but it hasn't got to me. But yeah, so like, it is a good time waster is TikTok.
Yeah, I don't post anything on TikTok, and I'm very rarely on it. But I have curated like some music and movie trivia stuff.
Okay.
Comic book recommendations, and then I've somehow gotten a lot of like neurodivergent tips, like how to tell if you're autistic. And hey, guess what?
Oh yeah, I've seen those. You're talking about the movie ones too. It's always like, because they're younger, a lot of times younger kids, but like there's this movie, an old movie that has like this kid who has to go back in time to get his parents to kiss. Like they're talking about Back to the Future. I'm like, what? Could you believe this is what happens next? I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, there's one that will say like, name the movie in like 3 seconds, and they'll show a screen cap of it.
It's like Harry Potter 1, 2, and 3.
Right. It's like a picture of Gizmo, and I'm like, pretty sure it's Gremlins.
We are old.
Yep.
But fun way. Also, before we played the clip there, but then also I did like the bit with keep defunding schools, America.
Yeah.
Which, of course, if you've listened to last week's podcast,
yeah, we talked about that.
We talked about that, and we're for that. Defund schools, fund the cops, more weapons to government employees, and to private citizens. But all of us should be able to shoot each other, because this is America.
Yeah, no books and pencils, but guns and ammo. That's what we need.
Burn books, build weapons.
And on that note, let's take a break, and we'll come back and talk about this episode some more. We'll be right back.
We're in a golden age. Keep defunding schools, America.
Alrighty, Craig, we're back. Let's finish up our discussion of the season 34 premiere, Habeas Tortoise. We'll talk about what made us laugh, who made us laugh, our favorite jokesters, and what we thought of the episode, and what we're watching next week. But before we do that, it's gift-giving season of the day. Let's exchange gifts. I feel weird saying like, hey, what'd you get me? So I'm going to go first.
Okay.
So for you, Craig, I found a gift. I made you a t-shirt. So this t-shirt, it's a red shirt, and it features the very Instagrammable Pete the Prairie Dog, because I know that you love little furry critters. So
I do.
Here you are, Craig.
I appreciate this, and will wear this with pride.
Wonderful. Prairie pride.
Just not in front of my squirrels. They're going to be jealous.
Right.
All right. So, I appreciate your gift. I gifted you a collection of mini figurines.
Oh.
Yeah. Remember when Homer sees all of the avatars of the conspiracy groups? Yeah, there's a whole new set I'm creating for that. They're like the size of like the little like chibis. Yeah, the Japanese toy. So, let's say they're about 4 inches. But here's the thing. I only got you 2. I got you a Dedrick Tatum and a Gil. So you have to collect the rest. So have fun enjoying your collection, Steve.
Cool. You've made me a hobby.
Yeah, I made you a hobby that collect plastic that's bad for the environment. That's just going to end up in a landfill that will never disintegrate. And your loved ones will have to deal with what to do with those things when you die. So,
thanks for that.
Yeah,
you've given me and the rest of my loved ones a chore.
Yeah. Other than that, I got this turtle shell fanny pack for your wife.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. Sorry, as the British would call them, not fanny packs, they call them minge packs, right?
Yes. So let's talk about this episode. Who made you laugh, Craig?
Well, I probably said it in the episode, and I'm going to say it again in this episode. Tress MacNeille can do no wrong.
Yep.
I'm giving the MVJ to the zookeeper. She didn't have a name. She was just the zookeeper.
Yeah.
This Tress, I mean, I love anything that she was in, especially at the beginning, of course, when, she's talking about the tortoises. If there's a thing about tortoises is that they're always somewhere, and Homer arguing with her, and, she's like, I love that movie, The Zookeeper, too. But my favorite quote of hers is when they go to protest her house, she's like trying to plead with the conspiracy group, like, why would I kidnap an animal? That's what a zoo is, a bunch of kidnapped animals. Hands down the funniest joke. So that's my joke and jokester and everything funny wise I loved from this episode. Quotable.
I agree that she's my MVJ,
but also I forgot to mention one quote, the Homer's quote too of
most ideas are bad. It's okay to think them. Just don't act on them.
That's a great one. I like that. And I agree with you that should be in a book somewhere because it is very, very deep and insightful. While I think that Tress MacNeille is my MVJ, there are two jokes that also stood out for me. One is Edric Tatum talking about his infinity pool.
Yeah.
And also Lisa being amazed that they went through an actual rabbit hole.
Oh, right.
Those two jokes are very like writerly and very thinky, and I like that. And yeah, so I think that Brody Gupta did a great job with those constructing those kind of like complex jokes. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. Those two were great jokes.
Okay, so we have our MVJ, we have our funny moments, but what did you think of this new episode of The Simpsons?
It's just nice to have The Simpsons back. We had a couple months off reviewing older episodes, which is fun too. It's just fun to be part of a TV show that's making new episodes. This was a well done outing, I think, kind of talking about the discourse that has been happening in this country for the past couple of years, especially with the conspiracy theories and like social media in general. Is kind of a bad thing because yes, everyone's voice should be heard, but do we need to hear it?
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of the episodes like, yeah, it does that. Like these people, conspiracy theorists and, people with radical ideas, it's been around forever. Just they never had a voice to speak out, and social media has. Just look at us in general. As this podcast, we didn't go to communication school, obviously. We don't have a degree in audio engineering, any of that. We could figure it out, and we did. It's not the 100% the greatest, but who gave us a voice? The internet, social media, but we have listeners, and that's great. But we're also not like, I don't think we're saying anything on the crazy end. Yes, we say a lot of crazy shit, but we're not saying, that the Sharpie that you're using is actually monitoring like everything that you do. Like Big Sharpie is out there.
Yeah.
They're really the ones that controls the world in general, Big Sharpie. So the pen, the marker pen, Sharpie, they're dictating your life right now.
As you dictate with them.
We're not saying stuff like that.
No, of course.
Just look out for Big Sharpie. There's little touches, when Homer at the end kind of talks about how that group stormed the city hall.
Yeah.
It's very much a blatant, like obviously this is referencing January 6th in America when they stormed the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good representation of, these people's voices aren't heard. And Homer being the one where he's our hero of the show.
Yeah.
But him realizing like, yeah, his ideas are dumb and we know they're dumb. It is detrimental to society, really.
Yeah.
So really the whole message is social media is bad.
Mm-hmm. And it is.
But still follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at 138Simpsons.
That's right.
But like I said, there's a lot of fun jokes. It's great to have the Simpsons back. I liked it. If I were to give it a ranking, let me think here. Okay, so the turtle's name is Slow Leonard, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Leonard Cohen wrote a song called Slow.
Whoa.
Slow Leonard. That song came out in the year 2014. Steve, you know what day that song was released?
What
you probably don't. It was released September 23rd. Steve,
Whoa.
I almost died on September 23rd of this year.
It's true.
But you know who actually did die? A famous person did die on the 23rd. Not me. It was Academy Award-winning actress Louise Fletcher, who played Nurse Ratched in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Steve, Danny DeVito was in the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And Danny DeVito now does commercials for the sub sandwich shop Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's was founded in the state of New Jersey. The writer and director filmmaker Kevin Smith is from New Jersey. Steve, you and I are going tomorrow to see Kevin Smith's newest film, Clerks 3. So what does that mean?
What does that mean?
There's been 3 Clerks films. So out of 3, I give this episode a 2.
Okay.
How about you, Steve? What did you think?
This is a very interesting episode for me because I like that it's not the biggest episode ever. Like,
also a big new canon thing is that Miss Hoover and Gil Gunderson are married.
It's true.
And we totally kind of glossed over that a little bit. So does that mean now she's Miss Gunderson, or does she keep in with the Hoover? So she's always been Miss MISS Hoover. So now is she MRS Hoover / Gunderson, or Miss Gunderson, or just Miss Hoover?
I think she should just go by Lizzie. Drop the whole last name.
Yeah, that's a whole new, like, we've never heard her be called Lizzie before.
Yeah.
I didn't even know her name was Elizabeth until today.
Yeah, I don't think I did either.
All right.
So yeah, that is a very big moment in this episode and in this in general.
Which would have been a fun, like, I don't know if they've teased it, like maybe like during D23 or some sort of Comic-Con, like there's going to be a big wedding like in The Simpsons, like two characters that you know and love are going to finally tie the knot. And like two characters that, oh, cool. Like,
yeah, whatever.
But I'm very happy for Gil. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm happy for both of them. I hope they find happiness. I hope they have kids if they want them. If they don't, then that's fine too.
Yeah.
I just hope that Lisa doesn't say Miss Hoover. She'll say Ms. Hoover or Miss Gunderson or Miss Gunderson Hoover. Or, yeah, exactly. Or Lizzie, like you said.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Right. Sorry to bring that up, Steve. I'll let you continue review.
So yeah, this episode is very interesting because it's topical, but also feels classic because they do mention a lot of modern things, but nothing feels too out of place for The Simpsons. But mostly, I'm just fascinated by the fact that, like, when we went through season 33, every episode felt so kind of eventful. We had the Fargo episode, we had the jazz episode, we had all these things that felt like big events. And this one's kind of a more quiet episode. I'm not saying that nothing happened because, you know, you had a big group of people all uniting as friends and chasing a turtle. And, you know, it's got a lot of good set pieces. But this episode felt like a bit smaller. And I kind of appreciate that. I mean, it wasn't originally slated to be. The season premiere was actually written for season 33. But this one, I think it welcomes the season in very nicely. And I like that they're using, you know, a young, and I mean, she's been around for a bit, but a newer writer that's not as well known. And, you know, she has a great voice and her personality comes through in the episode really well with the jokes and just kind of the writing being there it is. And it's interesting how they brought up the, like, certain things a lot, like the paella. I don't know. It's just a very literary episode, I'd say. And I really appreciate that. So I had a lot of fun with it. And while I could go down a rabbit hole of my own about how deep conspiracies are, I'm going to go a bit simpler and say that your average Dunkin' Donut Munchkin donut hole contains 60 calories. So out of 60 calories, I'm going to give this, we'll say 49.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I like this episode. I thought it was fun. It's good to have The Simpsons back. I think this is a welcome entry into the new season, and I'm excited where they go. I thought that Jay Farrow as Dedrick Tatum was really good. I thought, like, all the voice work was really good. Of course, Chris McNeil is always the best, and it was a good time. I had a lot of fun with this one.
Off to a good start. Congratulations, Simpsons. You won us over again.
That's right, but will they hold up next week?
Oh, I don't know. Do you think I'll
let's
die this week and not have to find out?
Maybe, but if not, we should find out what we're watching next week. But because there's no Wheel of Random, we're just going to go to October 2nd, 2022. And Craig, what do you think the title of the episode is?
So this is going to be the first episode in October.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then baseball playoffs will be probably starting pretty soon. So I'm going to guess, I think we're going to be out of it. I think this is going to be Treehouse of Horror 33.
That would make sense. However, that is wrong.
Well, maybe one of us next week will know the real answer after next week's. It's a given, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But next week's episode is entitled One Angry Lisa.
Oh.
So, Craig, you know, if you guess this or you die, we don't have to do this podcast anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So what do you think the name of what do you think the plot of the episode is?
One Angry Lisa. Okay, well, I'm going to assume it's got Lisa Simpson in it.
Mm-hmm. Theoretically.
Yes, but I think it's a play on words.
Oh.
Not a pun, but yeah, play on words. One Angry Lisa. I'm assuming it's spelled O-N-E, right? Not W-O-N. Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Because you could do like a One Angry Lisa, W-O-N. That's a totally different story.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this is a flashback episode.
Oh.
Yeah. Where Lisa will be 1 year old.
Oh.
But she's already like intelligent, can, you know, speak, and you know, she's a genius.
Right.
But she's angry because Bart gets to go to preschool and she doesn't because she's 1 and she wants to go to school.
Wow.
But the reason why they're telling this story is they're trying to figure out like it's time for Maggie to go to preschool for some reason.
Yeah.
So they have to remember like when the other kids went to preschool. So it's like, like Lisa's first word.
Right.
But then there's a B plot, and that involves actually, no, you know what? There is no B plot. It's just one entire storyline of Lisa at age 1.
Wow.
It'll be a fun flashback.
Cool. I can't prove that that's incorrect, but I'm going to think that it is because I have 2 sentences about next week's episode. Lisa gets called for jury duty, and Marge becomes obsessed with her exercise bike.
Okay, so one, Lisa's not old enough to be a part of a jury.
You mean at 1 year old?
Yeah, 1 year old. But I like that better. I do like Marge. It's supposed to be a Peloton jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're gonna do a Peloton joke with Marge, and then the Lisa thing. I don't. There's probably gonna be like a mishap, unless it's like a school jury.
I don't know because I
Is there
think one
school
angry
court?
Lisa.
It's
that
12
could be.
angry. Yeah, 12 angry men. Yeah,
exactly.
But how did she get to be a juror? I don't get it.
I don't know.
I mean, it sounds like a great plot for a movie. Kid juror.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I can imagine they wouldn't let Ned on the jury because you don't want hung jurors.
And you don't want Cletus on the jury because he's a rural juror. Although I think we've seen Cletus be part of a jury group many times. He was the foreman for which one episode?
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, hey, you know what? Looking forward to it. So there's gonna be like a court case. I wonder if they get Judge Snyder back.
Oh, maybe another judge that we haven't heard from in a while.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
What are you saying, Steve? Do you got some inside scoop?
Well, just what if? Follow me here. What if they brought back Judge Constance Harm?
Wait, Jan Kazmarek? She hasn't been Judge Constance Harm in years, like probably like a decade.
It's true, but stranger things have happened on Netflix.
Well, if she's back as Judge Constance Harm, then I guess I'll live for another week.
Alrighty. And you should too, folks. And thanks for listening.
What could be the last podcast? We don't know.
You never know.
I mean, Steve could die tomorrow.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Oh, but I'm with you tomorrow. Let's not have that happen.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You have to hold my ass back home. So while you're still alive, you can contact us on the social medias that are evil. Your Facebook, your Instagram, and your Twitter at 138Simpsons.
And if you just want to not use social media and just email us, you can do that too at 138simpsons@gmail.com. Also, on your little device that you listen to podcasts and email from, leave us a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Can you leave reviews on Spotify? Probably.
Yeah.
Overcast, Google Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review or the equivalent of the best thing ever. And you don't have to leave a real review. You can just type your favorite conspiracy theory.
That's right. And hey, if you want some merch from us, go to tpublic.com/users/AnnoyedGruntBoys and grab yourself a t-shirt or a face mask or whatever. And hey, if you're tired of typing after looking at all those clothes, you can go to your podcatching app and hit the little voicemail button there. Leave us a voicemail and tell us your favorite conspiracy theory. All right, so for this week, I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Steve.
And I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Craig.
And remember, a donut hole always returns to its mother, a larger hole.
And we're going to find this turtle, but damn it, we found love along the way.
This confederacy of nutsos has gone too far. You're all acting dumb.